episode 24. Yeah, I look ridiculous, but I'm actually really warm. Uncle Jeff walked in just a little bit ago, and he said he was checking out Hadley's hat, one we showed y'all, I guess, a few weeks ago. And he come in. I guess he was wanting to show off what he had. So I said, shoot, give me that sucker. I'll wear it whenever we turn the cameras on. And, oh, yeah, I do look ridiculous, don't I?
Yep.
Yeah. But I was going to, yeah, I look like Sully. I was going to take it off. But I don't know. I might leave it on. It's pretty warm. He got it warmed up for me.
And it's kind of chilly in here.
You were hunting right before this?
I was. I got soaking wet.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you find anything? See anything?
No, it was a terrible day. I'd rather not talk about it.
You don't? Well, okay.
I usually love hunting in the rain, but it did not go well today.
Yeah.
I didn't do a very good job.
Look, I've been begging y'all to come hunt coyotes across the road. We've had coyotes really bad here for who knows how long now. My Great Pyrenees isn't very great. He doesn't run anything off. He befriends them, so they stick around. So I need some folks to come shoot some coyotes. What's wrong? Does it sound good?
No, it sounds fine. I was just agreeing.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you said you were going to come hunt some too.
Yeah, Will says a lot.
Will says a lot.
Hey, wait.
Take them down.
Yep. We need something. Noah said he would probably come hunt some, but we need to go take care of them.
I need to kill deer. We can hunt coyotes any time of the year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill deer.
Apparently they get real aggressive around here from January to March. Apparently, isn't that like their mating season?
I don't know.
Apparently it is. Apparently
they should come in 2 times a year.
Really? Apparently that sucker's getting on my nerves now. Apparently they get pretty aggressive around January and March, somewhere in there. I think it's like their mating season. We were talking about that the other day. But anyway, we're going to get to it. It's Dome Week. Chaz, listening to Chaz a little bit the other night. And he had Cody Sommer on. Had some pretty interesting conversation. Cody is the one that puts on the Dome every year. Talking about the cost of it, what it takes to do the Dome. A lot of interesting takes on it. Kind of wanted to talk a little bit about. He says $1 million put on the Dome race, and he's also
depending on who brings the million.
Depending on who brings the million, yes. But he's also talked about maybe bringing sprint cars in there. So I mean, what do you think about sprint cars in the Dome?
I thought the million was for sprint cars.
I thought he was talking about the Dome. No, he said it was $1 million to put the Dome on.
I thought it was he would consider. I thought the conversation between him and Chaz was Chaz wants sprint cars in there, and he said that he would consider doing it if there was $1 million on the table.
Well, to my understanding, it was $1 million to put on the Dome.
Ain't no way that. Ain't no way that. Ain't no way.
What do you mean?
It's got to cost more than that.
See, I thought the same thing.
I didn't watch the whole beginning of that video to know what it cost him to put on the late model show.
Yeah.
But the Dome is massive. And I don't know.
I mean, you're putting 30 plus thousand people.
Yeah, I mean, ticket sales are probably going to get that money back. But I don't know that you make any money on $1 million.
What is a ticket price?
Entry.
Can we look up a ticket price for the Dome by chance? I'm just curious how much they cost. And there might be somebody in the chat that could tell us. I don't know if anybody's in the chat yet or not, but because I know of several people around here that are going to go because we talked about going. I'd love to go.
I would too, except for our wives made plans for
that's
this
true.
Weekend.
So. That's true. My son's birthday party is on Saturday, but yeah, to hear Brad talk about it, you know, Brad's always ever since he went. Talked about basically it's a big party. It was like it's a party and a race breaks out, and said the atmosphere, you can't really beat the atmosphere of it. So I've wanted to go witness it myself. I've wanted to kind of see it for myself, but not looking too good this week. But
yeah,
I do
this year.
I definitely
I did look into it though.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what tickets cost because I really didn't look at ticket pricing.
Here,
I was looking at everything.
Will's got it up.
I was looking at everything around going. What that would cost.
55.
$55. That's not bad.
That's not bad at all. Not for that.
Shoot.
Because 3-day passes are sold out.
Really?
And so they say to buy the Thursday and then a 2-day pass. And the 2-day pass is $112.
Okay, that still isn't too
2-day
bad.
pass is $112. So I mean, it's basically like going to a weekend of outlaw
Yeah.
racing.
Yeah, and a lot
Or
of
high
people
limit.
too, kind of like the Chili Bowl. A lot of people, which I don't know what it looks like from there, but like Chili Bowl, a lot of people buy pit passes for the week. They don't buy the tickets. Go sit in the stands, uh, and I don't know why you'd do this, but they'll buy pit passes and they go sit at the back of the grandstand and watch the screen at the back of this grandstand in front of the Coons trailer and
You
all
probably
that.
get the best view from doing that anyway, because they're gonna have the TV. Whoever's streaming it, I guess that'd be Flow, is they're gonna have the best view on. I mean, you may not get to see any back of the pack racing, but
Yeah.
who cares about back
Well,
of the
my
pack
thing
racing?
is, if you're gonna watch it there, you might as well just sit at home and watch it. In my opinion.
Depends on if you're going for the party or not,
Well, I guess that's true if you're there for the party.
or if
but,
you're a crew member or something. I mean,
yeah. Well, yeah, that's what it's there for. It's there for the crews. It's
Yeah.
there for them to sit there and watch. It's to keep up with what's happening. But as far as being a fan and going and just sitting there, for a week, don't have a ticket, you might, I don't know why you just go to sit there. I don't know. That's
mean,
just not what I would do.
I think I kind of think the same way about Knoxville Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same thing. I mean, you go for a week and you hang out. There's a race that breaks out
Yeah.
during the evenings. I mean, it's a little bit more of a racy type atmosphere doing
Yeah.
that. But I mean, your parents went
Yeah,
just
but
hunting in the camper.
Yeah, but they weren't sitting there watching the screen though. They're not sitting there watching on some monitor somewhere. They have, tickets. They go to watch the event.
That's because anybody that can
live.
get into that can go have a seat in the stands too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just different.
Yeah.
You don't have the seats.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It would be like them driving all the way to Knoxville and sitting on the backstretch behind the grandstand and watching it on the monitor.
Maybe, only there's less space at the Chili Bowl.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know.
What is that track? I can't even remember. What is that track? How long is it? It's like a little ice skating rink in there.
What are you talking about?
The Chili Bowl. It ain't very big.
Oh no, it ain't big as nothing. It probably ain't hardly little bigger than a shop.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
I don't know how big it is. It's probably technically an eighth of a mile or something. If that, probably ain't
That's
even
tight.
that. Yeah, it's a tight little place, but no, it's basically a little circle. There really ain't no straightaway to it. But it's still one of my favorite races of the year.
That's just because you've been dry for a couple months by that point. So
You think that's why?
I mean, it's part of it. Yeah, I like it too.
Probably so.
It's when it finally rolls around. It's like finally we're getting back to circle track racing.
Yeah,
again.
probably. I guess that is a little.
And
bit
it's
true.
not, but you got the Chili Bowl, and then NASCAR starts 2 weeks after that,
Yeah.
or a week after that, depending on the year.
That's
and
not too
then-
loud, is it, Will?
Right, so
And then
We turned the heater on. It's a little loud. There it
Then
goes.
you
It clapped
fire
back
up.
now.
then you fire up dirt track racing. 3-4 weeks after that,
Yeah.
throughout the high limit will get started up.
I don't know.
Then-
The thing is, though, with the Chili Bowl, and I think even the dome, the dome's getting bigger every year. I see that place. I see it getting 50, 60 plus thousand fans, in its future. I don't know how long it's going to take to get to that point,
Depending on capacity, yeah.
but I feel that place it's getting bigger every year. That's what Cody was talking about with the Chaz is, it's like every single year it just gets better and better and better, putting on a better show. And the Chili Bowl, to me, it's just the Chili Bowl has kind of peaked, and even at times it's not as good as it has been in the past. It doesn't put on it's the atmosphere of it's still cool, but it's lost something. It's kind of lost.
It ain't about the racing anymore.
Yeah. Well,
And
Bell and Larson kind of may have sort of killed it a little bit
I was
because
gonna
it was
say,
year in and year out, it was those two winning it.
yeah,
And
and every night who's gonna win the race. You
Yeah.
look at the lineup and you know who's gonna win it, and it's gonna be the person that starts on the pole, or maybe the guy that starts second to the pole.
Yeah.
And then they're gonna run their laps, and then whoever does the best in the week's gonna win the thing on
Yeah.
on
Yeah. And see,
Saturday.
in the
most
dome,
of the time.
from what I can tell, the dome doesn't have that feel. It doesn't. You don't know. You know what I mean? And the track's rough. Anything could change. You know. And that was something else that they talked about. That made a lot of sense to me. Was the track is so rough, and they're beating and banging out. They're all over the place, and anything can change at any time. And with the midgets going around the Chili Bowl, it gets pretty slick. The guys that are going to be good, they're going to be good, and they're not more than likely they're not going to mess up. Bell, I can't remember what year it was, but I mean Bell and Larson were going at it. Bell flips. Well, Larson pretty much had a clean race after that. His biggest threat was gone.
I think the reason for that is because they're trying to run boats in a pond.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
they're running these late models are massive.
Yeah.
Especially compared to a midget.
Yeah.
They're massive vehicles, and they're running around this track. I
Yeah.
mean, if they make the track rough, and then they start getting it where, those cars start to get loose and get into each other, that makes for a pretty good show.
Yeah.
When you start, Rubbin's racing, everybody loves it.
Yeah. Well, the late models tend
Except
to,
for Riverside folks.
Yeah.
They take it too far.
Yeah. The late models tend to dig the track up too, though, and where we tend to slick the racetrack up, we tend to smooth it out. And they've done that. They tried that. And Cody even said they know how to make it slick, but that was also the worst racing they had.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas, for us, it probably is the best racing you're going to have for us.
Yep.
So that's kind of where I'm hoping that if they're gonna do sprint cars in the future, and I don't know how good of a show that's gonna be. I'm not completely sold on doing sprint cars in this little bitty dome. It's not Jacksonville. Chaz kept saying this is it's like kind of like Jacksonville. I think at least that was the vibe he was giving me. He was trying to compare it to Jacksonville. It's not Jacksonville. Jacksonville is high banked and fast. This place is flat as it can be, and if you make it glass slick, the racing's not going to be as good. In my opinion.
I wouldn't say it's super. It's got a little bit of a bank to it, but it's nothing like you're not going to be able to drive a 360 or a 410 or even a 305 wide open on it. I mean, you're not.
No. You're not going to be able to drive anything around it wide open. I just mean like the banking is what makes the racing good. Like the sprint cars need the cushion to lean on. They need something to lean on in order to create that racing. Where if it's just slick, you're gonna mess around, probably take rubber, and we're all gonna be following each other. I just don't think sprint cars in that.
What if you make it
facility.
hooked up? What if you get it hooked up?
Hooked up. It would have to be hooked
and
up.
Keep
rough.
it hooked up the whole time.
It would have to be hooked, like really hooked up and rough.
Because I mean, at least then you're looking at you. When it gets slick, drivers have to drive. I mean, drivers prevail.
Yeah.
But when it's hooked up and it's so small, I feel like that could be the same.
Yeah.
The same equation or the same whatever.
Yeah.
What I'm trying to say that good drivers will have to do that. I mean, because if you're able to put it down and get to the corner and then shut it down, you're gonna have drivers overdrive. That's gonna create an overdrive scenario.
Yeah.
It's gonna create a lot of different variables, and people are gonna be able to. I mean, it may hurt. I know. It seems like that's the equalizer for when tracks slick off. It's the equalizer for lesser teams because horsepower won't get around the track.
Yeah.
But I think a tiny track, your horsepower is only going to net you so much anyway.
Yeah.
You're still going to have to get it stopped and get around the corner.
Well, that to me, that's probably the only racetrack in the country that I would say that for the sprint cars it would be better hooked up though, because you're throwing more variables into it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, yeah.
Just simply because it's so small, I think
the size of it and the banking of it. It's like, yeah, the fact that it would be hooked up, rough, fast. That's what would make it good.
Yeah.
That's the only way you could make it good. I don't see sprint cars being able to go around, beat on the top, and make a show out of it, because the radius of the corner is so tight. You wouldn't be able to slide anybody without probably causing a lot of chaos, without causing accidents left and right. You don't want another Indy Invitational. Like, you don't want another Indy Invitational, and I know you didn't see the Indian Invitational, but it was basically a bunch of midgets in like this little, you know, where the Pacers play basketball. It was basically in there, and that race was so bad because they couldn't run any more than 2 laps under green without wrecking. And I mean, when they would start the race as single file, the leader would take the green, and he was already at the back of the field by the time he got back to turn 2 and going into turn 3, because it was so tiny.
Yeah.
And they were just on top of each other all the time. There was just
I don't know
nowhere
that
to go.
open wheel racing is ideal for that scenario at all.
And that's what I'm trying to say about the sprint cars at the Dome. I just don't think it's ideal. I'm afraid you're gonna mess around and have the same thing.
It kind of seemed like Cody thinks the same thing.
Yeah.
Just because even with the million, there was a caveat. He said, if you got $1 million ready to go, then we can have a meeting. About it.
Unless you're Brian Carter, and then you got to bring 2.
Yeah, then you got to bring 2 million. But I think, the more I think about it, while we're sitting here, I mean, thought about it all day, and I hadn't thought about this, but he kept talking about how he couldn't guarantee. It would depend on who brought the money on, and if the names are going to show up.
Right.
What that tells me is that $1 million is not enough to put that show on.
Yeah.
Because if you're worried about the name showing, if he can put a show on and make a little bit of money for $1 million, and it doesn't matter who shows up, then he doesn't care who the names are.
Mm-hmm.
But what he's worried about is filling that place up.
Yeah.
Because that's the only way. $1 million may rent the place or may pay for part of the labor to get it going, especially if he's already going to be there. Chaz was talking about throwing it on a Thursday or the day before or the day after or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe. But I bet I would bet that it would cost more than $1 million to put that on.
Yeah.
And
See,
I think he would have to have
thing.
the 60,000 or the 30,000 people at $55 a head to pay for to make money on it, make it worth the investment.
I'm with you. I don't see how you do it for $1 million. I see it being quite a bit more than that. And I also don't see the Rico Abreu's, the Donnie Schatzes, the Aaron Reitzels. I don't see any of those guys wanting to do it. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. I really didn't see the benefit of doing.
Not unless it's sanctioned. I mean, or if there's a payout that's good enough.
Yeah.
But at that point, you're cutting back into your $1 million again.
Yeah. Well, kind of like Chaz did say though. He was like, sprint car drivers will show up for pennies compared to the late model guys, as long as they tell their buddies. And I tend to agree with that, except unless your name's Lane Goodman. But I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't want to be running around that place.
How much are they paying this weekend? What's the payouts this weekend
for the Dome?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know what the Dome pays. Perky and Landon are in the chat. I'm sure Perky probably knows what is the payout for the late models this weekend. Is it late? I'm assuming it's late models, modifieds, and they don't do stock cars, do they? Or do they do stock cars too? I have to look it up. There's something else I need to look up anyway.
I can't see that far away.
Yeah, it is kind of far away. We might ought to put that thing a little bit closer because I can't read it. There was something else I wanted to look up while we're looking that up too.
The font's still the same size.
7,000.
70,000.
70,000.
Pretty good payout.
That is a pretty dang good payout
for a non-sanctioned. Are they saying? Is that race sanctioned? It's strictly the Dome.
It is the Dome.
It's
kind of like the Chili Bowl. The Chili Bowl is not sanctioned. It is the Chili Bowl, and I mean, there needs to be. I like the fact that there is. Hey, there you go. Why didn't we do that before?
There we go. That's nice.
I'm talking about how come we haven't ever done that before? I didn't know it. I didn't know we could.
No, we have not.
I think I've said a few times I can't read that. That's why I've always had it on my phone
over here doing it.
That's why I've always had my phone because I can't read it.
I'm the only one that has a seat in my normal seat.
That's true. You're a little bit closer. I think my eyes. I think my eyes are getting a little bit worse. Late models and mods
Welcome
only.
to your 30s, brother.
Yeah, for real. Well, you're in your 30s. You hit 30 before I did. Yeah.
Mine only matters when in the light. Light versus dark. But that was still tough to see.
Yeah.
I don't think that was our eyes. I think it was just the font. Be too
Probably
small.
so. Well, our tech guy, we didn't know we could zoom in, or at least I
Always
didn't
something.
know.
It's always something. You should have known.
When in
something.
doubt, blame Will. That's what we do around here, and that's just
We should have known. We should have known about that months ago,
yeah.
and yet we're just finding out.
Well, I'm not a tech guy, but I ended up having to delete all my stuff on my computer, just restart. That's how bad it is for me when it comes to tech. I just had to delete everything and start from scratch last night.
Are we back iRacing?
We're not back guy racing yet, but as soon as I'm done with this, I'm going home and I'm going to be trying to get my stuff all straightened out back to where I'm at. All right, so the next thing, have you read anything about the OCRS, the Sprint Car Series? It's next year. They're going to be
You didn't have nothing to say about that $2 million.
Oh yeah.
I thought you had something to say about that $2 million.
Yeah. So, well, the comment he made about not trusting Brian, you know, I don't know how they do business. I can only go off of past experiences, and what I witnessed last year at Riverside when the Outlaws came was enough to me, and I don't know whose call it was, and I'm sure he's not sitting at home on his phone.
Call Clayton. Call Clayton and ask him.
We could call Clayton and ask,
because he'll tell you. He'll tell you whose call it was.
Well, it was the Outlaws, but I don't know who ultimately says it. Like, who's the one guy that says, "All right, yeah, we're pulling the plug."
The guy that's got the money tied up in it.
Yeah. Well, so Clayton goes, buys the food, buys the drinks, buys all this stuff to put on the Outlaw race for the second night. It's a 2-night show at West Memphis. We run the first night. It took rubber, 10 laps into the feature on Friday night.
I didn't make that one.
Yeah, you didn't make it to that one.
I guess football got in the way of that one.
Yeah, you was at the football game. You was busy coaching. But, so we run the race Friday night. Track takes rubber. Everybody's kind of running, middle to bottom. And, yeah, it's just a so-so race. It's wasn't a barn burner by any means. And, race went the way it did. Wasn't good. But you know what?
And I remember it now because we were talking about how the Friday night race in our region people are gonna go watch football. I mean,
yeah,
football's a big deal around here.
Yeah.
So when you come to Riverside on a Friday night in the fall, you're gonna it's gonna take a hit.
Yeah. Well, the stands, from what I remember, the stands weren't the issue either. I think the rumor was.
I think it was a little bit low. I don't think they made a lot of gate
might
money
have
that
been.
night.
I don't remember it being low, especially for an outlaw race. It might have been low for an outlaw race, but it was still a ton.
I'm thinking
more people
about
than
like
normal.
when High Limit was there last spring and there was standing room only. I don't think it was like that. I think
no, it wasn't
I think
like
there
that.
was plenty of room in the stands for people to come in and sit down.
Yeah, I think more people were planning on coming Saturday though. Saturday
so
was the show. And then the next day we're out there trying to work on the car, getting things fixed. I ain't got to go down that rabbit hole again. We had issues. We were trying to fix our car. Motor's basically half apart.
That's about where the streak started, I think.
Yeah, that's where the streak started. It all started with stuff falling in the engine. But anyway, so we're standing out there, and it sprinkled for maybe 10 minutes, 30 minutes, something. But it had barely done anything. And, they canceled the race. It was rained it out. And for what I remember was that there was not really another chance of rain the rest of the night.
Nope, there was not.
So, I don't know who made that call. The rumor was what I was hearing anyway was the drivers threw a fit saying this track sucks. We don't want to do this again, kind of thing, and then they packed up and left. Was what I heard. I don't know if that's true. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm curious to know what happened. We'll probably never know. But, ever since then, I've had a bad taste in my mouth when it comes to the Outlaws anyway. And that's why I've been an advocate for High Limit. Now, I've got more opinions on High Limit as of late. But, Outlaws right then and there kind of told me who they were. They left Clayton hung out to dry like that. after he had prepared.
late in the season too. It's not like
Yeah.
it. What did we have? 2 races after that. Which
Yeah,
I mean,
we had
even
the ASCS race, and then you had the flip flop.
if you've got a couple more races left to get rid of all that product that you bought, you still got to have a place to store it.
Yeah.
You got to have. I mean, it's a lot of logistics to get all that
Yeah.
taken care of. But instead he was stuck with what he had with barely any time to get rid of it.
Yeah. So what I'm getting at though is it makes sense why Cody would not trust wanting to work with WRG and Dirt Vision, things like that. Why he'd want to steer clear from them. I'm curious to know why he doesn't like them. Apparently it's
Apparently Brian knows.
that's what I was about to say. Apparently Brian knows why. So I don't know.
But I mean, how
curious.
many times do you have to do that? We know about that because we were right here. It's our track.
Yeah.
Clayton did not tell us what exactly went on there.
Yeah.
So how many times does that happen throughout the year? That can't be a one-off thing.
Yeah.
Otherwise he wouldn't. I don't know.
Well, something if Clayton were sitting here and we've said this a dozen times, I'd like to get Clayton to come in and just sit down and talk with us, but I'm curious to know what Clayton's experience was with High Limit versus the Outlaws, if there was a difference. I mean, you notice neither one of them came back on the schedule this year.
It wasn't great because he stopped all 410 racing altogether.
Yeah, period.
After that.
But I'm just curious to know the attitude he received from both. Like what was it like dealing with High Limit versus the Outlaws? Were they close to the same? Were they not? High Limit's got something to prove, I feel like, or at least last year more so probably than this year. But they're trying to grow. They're trying to become big dog, which I know a lot of people have said, eventually what's going to happen is they're both going to, hold hands and sing Kumbaya and then become one group again. And then you've got a powerhouse. I don't know how true that is.
I don't think so. I disagree with that.
Yeah,
I
but
don't think they're going to sing Kumbaya. I think you want to be a powerhouse, but I think it's going to be the fall of one.
Yeah, and I don't know, but I would be curious to know what was it like dealing with one versus the other. And I'll kind of get into the High Limit thing in a little bit again, but yeah, I don't know. I've had a bad taste in my mouth ever since the Outlaw mishap last year, whatever that was. I don't know if that was a call from up top, if that was just a group thing around the track. I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I've had a strong dislike ever since. Now I know we ran with them a couple times, but when you're kind of stuck here in this region and there's only so many 410 races around in the region, you're kind of married to it. There's nothing else you can do. Like you have to go run what you can run. And unfortunately, the closest things I have is Peevely, and that's pretty much, and Magnolia. That's pretty much the closest things we have. If something else, if High Limit was, I don't know, if High Limit was 45 minutes that way and Outlaws was 45 minutes this way, I'm going that way.
We're going to High Limit.
I'm going that way.
Oh,
just because of what they done to us. I'm not happy because they ruined my birthday. Let's just say that's really what it boils down to. Like, I was gonna have a fun night. Apparently, we had this birthday party planned after I didn't even know about. It was gonna be great. I was gonna have a good time, and then they freaking stepped on it.
Yep.
So I'm not happy about it. You ruined my day.
And I mean,
the last birthday of my 20s, nonetheless.
Chaz seemed to take offense to that. That he wouldn't do business with the Outlaws. He was kind of defensive about Cody's position on it, and really kept. I mean, his job is to pick and to get answers, but he seemed to take a position to support.
Real quick, keep going, but
right.
I want to do something. Can we do a poll on Facebook? Mm-hmm. I'm curious. I want to do a poll and say, do you listen to the chat, Long Live the Chaz on YouTube? Yes or no?
Okay.
I'm just curious. I'm curious how many people. Do one in the chat too. But I'm curious how many people listen to Chaz. But anyway, continue.
Anyway, he kind of took a defensive standpoint, and from business owner's perspective, who cares if he doesn't trust, especially I'm looking at it from like my little business where I don't deal with millions of dollars.
Yeah.
But if I were, I mean, I've over the short term that I've been working for myself, I've run into plenty of customers. I really don't care if they call me back or not. It's not worth having them as a customer just because of the headache that comes with them being my customer. I'd rather not make any money.
I've got a story about that today.
I mean, I think anybody that does any kind of business has run into something like that where it's just, yeah, even, they may be a big contract, but if all your headaches come from that one customer, then bye-bye. And if he's going to if he can't, when you're talking about millions of dollars on the line, that he's going to back up himself.
Yeah.
I don't blame him. He can do whatever he wants and say whatever he wants and have any opinion he wants.
Yeah.
If he don't want to work with him, don't. That's his business. I mean, that's his livelihood.
Yeah.
He's got to make $1 at it too. Who cares?
Yeah. No, I'm with you. I just it's funny you say that because I dealt with that for the last month. I had a guy that was texting and calling me.
He's probably watching right now.
I hope he does. He knows exactly who he is, and I was so irritated. Have been for weeks now. This guy was calling and texting us, wanting this job done. We were powder coating for him. Just gotta have it done. Gotta have it done. I dropped what I was doing, did it, and it's been almost 2 months. It was over 6 weeks that it sat at the shop completed. Wouldn't come pick it up. Wouldn't come pay for it. Then showed up to pick it up. Didn't have a checkbook, so he didn't get to take everything. And
he wouldn't have taken none of it.
I agree. I
shouldn't get into that on the podcast.
I didn't want to do it, but I was severely pissed off. So if that to me, if that's the type of
were you
attitude
dealing with $1 million?
No. This wasn't even $1,000, but it's still aggravating for something to sit there for so long that you begged me for. I don't care if that guy comes back or not. Point is, I don't care if he comes back or not. I don't want to deal with him. I don't want that. I'd rather not have the money, not have the headache.
That's a fact.
Than to deal with that. And if that's how Cody feels about Brian and WRG,
sorry, dude.
Sorry. Like he said, you better bring a lot more money.
Yeah. The cool part about that, and they did kind of conclude with this, was that during the off season, there's no contractual obligation. All of the outlaw guys and all the high limit guys are not contractually obligated.
Yeah.
So if you get $70,000 is a pretty big purse.
Yeah.
You get that out there, I don't know that there wouldn't be. I don't know that you'd have to have a sanctioning body do it.
You don't have to. The Chili Bowl is the perfect example of that.
Yeah, you get the money. If you got the money up for it, I think you'll get whatever sprint cars you want.
There are 400 cars that show up to try to win the Chili Bowl, and they ran for $10,000 for years. And Larson and I didn't agree with this, but Larson and Bell, they went on strike, didn't come, and because they wasn't racing for enough money. Well, they were the only two that were winning the races, and they're both cup stars today, so it's not like they need it. So what was the big...
you're going out there running for, unless maybe their car owners weren't they weren't paying for their expenses.
Well, again, the car owners that they were driving for, they get paid by the drivers to run the cars anyway. So again, what difference does it make?
You think Larson and Bell are still paying for a ride?
Somebody is.
Well, that's true. I believe
somebody's
paying for it.
iRacing was probably paying for Bell's because iRacing was all over the side of Bell's car. And again, this is all speculation. I don't know. I don't have receipts. I don't know this for a fact. This is just my perspective. But somebody's paying for it somewhere. Keith Coombs isn't just rolling it out of his pocket. I promise you that. I just about know that.
Well, if it's one of them things where I'm sure those guys, I'm sure there's something else tied to it besides two guys that are making a lot of money to drive race cars, being worried about $10,000 payout.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I don't see why it would really matter to them. It probably should. It shouldn't matter to them.
I would think it might matter to the owners, or maybe they're doing it for the little guy.
I was gonna maybe suggest that, but I don't know. I
Maybe
don't
they
really see that
remember.
either.
Maybe they remember. Maybe they're not too far out of where we're at.
I don't know. I don't know. You've got 400 cars in this building, and guys like me and you are not winning that race. They're just not. I mean,
So it's
you
just
better
like any
have
other weekend. We're going to run for start money.
yeah, you're gonna be the guys that are winning that race have got 100,000+ cars or $100,000+ in their cars. I ran a car when I went, and it was Mr. Chris's car, and he claimed he didn't have no more than 12 grand in that car. So most of that was shocks.
Did it drive like it?
Honestly, I never drove a midget before. That was the one and only time I did. So I don't know. I can't compare. I don't know what's good
It probably
and what's
drove
not.
just like the $100,000 car.
I don't know. I don't know. I would love to find out though. Like if Hadley wants to come out of pocket about 15, 20 grand and put me in a really nice ride, that's nothing. Okay. Well, I'll call. Let's see. Who can I call? We'll call Chad Boat or Keith Coons, and we'll see if we can't get something going.
Yeah, call him up right now.
Okay. All right. We'll call them while we're on the pod then. But I apparently there's a big difference though. I can't remember who it was. I think it was Justin Grant. That's a Brad question. He's not here, but Brad would remember. But there was somebody that got out of I want to say it was Grant. He was driving for who was it? He was driving for somebody. Got out, went in, and got into the Clausen Marshall cars. And he was like, it's a pretty significant difference. So I cannot remember who he drove for before that. But anyhow, yeah. So I mean, there's probably a very significant difference in the cars. But mine drove. I had a blast. I had my little $12,000 car was a blast. I had fun. I wasn't there to try to win the Chili Bowl though. I was there to just for the experience and enjoy it. He was there to enjoy it, so it was a little different for me. But I did have a blast though. It was fun. I'd love to do it again someday. But that's all we got on the dome.
Yeah,
pretty
I think
much.
so.
I'm very excited to watch it though. I do hope to go someday, but won't be this year. OCRS championship next year. So I've heard of OCRS. It's a 360.
What's it stand for? Sound it out.
Why did you do that?
Because people want to know.
Oil Capital Racing Series. So they're based in Oklahoma, and they've been around for quite some time. Leadership's changed hands a time or two in the last couple of years, however long it's been now. But Robert Lee, and not Robert E. Lee, Robert Lee is over this deal. We're getting a lot of stuff from the Chaz, but Chaz has pretty good interviews.
I didn't hear this one.
You didn't hear about this one?
No.
Well, he was on the Chaz, but I wanted to bring it up anyway because I was seeing all the posts and stuff on social media. But I did listen to Robert talk a little bit today while I was riding down the road. But so OCRS, and this is what I was trying to find earlier. So they're basically if I'm not mistaken, again, somebody correct me if I'm wrong here. They have fuel injected 305s, and they also race 358 carbureted engines too, but they run them together. They're about the same horsepower, to my understanding. And next year, this series is going to race for a $25,000 championship. It's about 20 races, and that's unheard of. And then the first race is going to pay $20,000 to win. And there's a minimum. What I was reading, I'll go to my photos here. So there's a minimum of $1,500 to win. Yeah, minimum purse. So $1,500 to win, 1,000 per second, $750 for third, and so on and so forth.
What's start money on it?
Start money's $400.
$400, golly.
$400. So that pays almost what Riverside paid to win a 305 race. $2K purse. So when it's $2K to win, it's $1,300 for second, $1,200 for third, $1,100 for fourth, $1,000 for fifth, so on and so forth. $500 to start. And then you got the 3K purse, $3,000 to win, $2,000 for second, $1,300 for third, $1,200 for fourth, $1,100 for fifth, so on and so forth. $600 to start. That's pretty awesome. $600
to start a 305.
$600 to start a 305 race. to me, that's not even the craziest part. It pays $2,500 to win Rookie of the Year, and then $1,000 to the second rookie, $500 to the third, and then to finish 10th in points. This is crazy. To finish 10th in points, it's $4,000. When I won the Red River Championship in 2016, the ASCS Regional Championship in a 360, a $60,000+ motor on the car, none of the other expenses, it paid $3,000 to win that championship.
Yep. Yeah, that's 10th place. Does it go down to 3? Who wins 3,000? 11th place?
12th place. 1,500 for 15th. 3,000 for 12th. I mean, that's crazy money. Now, I don't know. So why I wanted to bring this up was Lane Goodman, and I like Lane Goodman. I'm not fixing to start talking bad about Lane Goodman. I like Lane Goodman. But Lane made a comment on Facebook the other day saying that basically he wouldn't leave the driveway for 1,500 to win races. And that really blew me away when I read that, because I commented, I said, there's a lot of guys that would flip out around here to race for that kind of money.
Yeah.
To win. Like, people were up in arms because Benton was paying, $300 more than Riverside to win the races here, and it was $1,000 to win at Benton? Or
I can't remember exactly what it was.
I don't remember either.
I don't want to misquote it.
But either way, I think it was paying $700 to win 305 races here, and then they'd go.
I think it was. Maybe it was.
Let's just say it was. I mean, but $1,000 to go win Benton, $700 to win here. Up in arms because over $300. They would drive past Riverside and drive another hour, 2 hours to go to Benton. You'd spend the extra money anyway, even if you won, wouldn't have mattered. You were still out that money. $750 at Benton. Okay. So see, still wasn't even that big a difference. What was it? Probably maybe $500 at Riverside then and $750 at Benton. Either way.
That may be right.
Maybe. I don't know. But I'm just saying the difference.
Brad would know.
We're
down a guy tonight.
Yeah, we're down a guy tonight. Yep. My poor sister can't get around very good. But anyway, bless her heart. She's so pregnant. She's got to get rid of that baby. I love you. But anyway, so she's going to kill me.
Probably.
But either way you look at it, what they were passing Riverside for they would lose it anyway, regardless. It didn't matter. Yeah, but 1,500 to win 305 race sounds crazy to me. That's a pretty dang good deal. You've got half the money in it. Say you had $30,000 car or $30,000 engine sitting in this car, same car that we'd have our 360 or our 410 in, whatever. Well, a lot of our regional ASCS races pay $2,000, $2,500. That's pretty common. So you can take an engine that costs half as much, if not, probably less than half, and go run for essentially the same money, if not more at times, a $20,000 win race to start, $25,000 to win a championship.
Yeah.
And
when's the last time we ran a $20,000 race? I mean, that wasn't a national race.
Oh, we haven't.
Wait a minute. What was Texas paying, or what were they paying at Texarkana the other day?
Well, that was short track nationals, but that was 20,000. I think it was 20,000. But my point is that was a 410 race.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's a 410 race. The 410s are $80,000, $90,000 now.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to pay more.
You could probably build a competitive 305 in your shop. Just in your garage.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that is what it is. So is this my whole thought going into this? I mean, we've been talking about how sprint cars they're getting priced out.
Yeah.
And the spread, the more we've said it, how many episodes have we brought up that high limit outlaws are making the spread greater?
Oh, it's almost every week.
Is this making sprint car racing great again?
That's kind of my argument. It's like, why?
Because I've tried to get you to go stock car racing.
Yeah, no.
And you won't do that because you're good at two shoes or whatever. I don't
know.
It's
not that. It's not that.
He's too good for stock cars.
It's the same scenario.
He says they go too slow.
No. Look, I would love to race a lot of things. take money out of the equation. I genuinely love racing in general. Like look, I don't want to get off subject.
We're getting off subject.
Truck pulling is as boring as watching paint dry on this table. Okay, I can't stand to watch it, but I enjoyed truck pulling when I was doing it. So as long as I'm a part of the show, there's a lot of things I would enjoy. Like late models. I would prefer to race the late model, the stock car, the modified,
we're
whatever.
still getting off subject.
We
here.
are.
What I'm saying is,
but
my point was, you're not willing to go that low,
Scared
but you
that
might
fun.
go back to a 305.
Oh, for sure. When I read this, I sent the link to Dad. I said, you want to build a 305 next year?
I mean, legitimately, we've talked about the logistics of getting there. It's not. The far races would be like 10 hours out from us, so we're blowing up weekends.
If we were to do it, we would be better off to find somewhere to leave the rig over there and come back in a car. Service, wash and service and leave, come home, be ready for the next race, and then we could go back.
We could do everything on a Saturday.
Yeah.
To get ready for the show.
That's what I'm saying. Or Sunday, we'd have to do it Sunday because we'd race Saturday. So we would
Saturday get there go up Friday when we get off work, be ready to go Saturday.
Well, we'll
morning,
probably race.
I
don't know the schedule, but I mean, we'd have to race.
Assuming they all run on Saturday nights.
Nah, they're not going to do that. Some of these are, like this one's May 15th, May 16th, and some of these could be Saturday, Sundays, but I mean, June 5th, June 6th, June 19th, June 19th. So, no, you're going to have 2-day shows. But, I mean, it's not every time.
That makes it even better.
Yeah, exactly.
We might actually could do this.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. We would need to build the 305, and then I have a good 305 operation for sale. Oh, that's right. I forgot about Mr.
Hey,
Mr.
put the
Cook.
numbers in the chat. We want to know how much it's
What do you mean?
cost
It's Landon. He can holler at me on TikTok. He comes in my lives all the time, or he can message me.
Let us know what you want for that thing, so we can run some numbers.
Yeah, but I would genuinely consider it, but it is a long way.
It is, but it does make it a whole lot better when you're running for a 2-day show. Driving 10 hours to run a 2-day show.
Yeah.
That's like driving 5 hours.
And if you win both nights,
race.
and even if you win both nights, it's still $3,000. Yeah. I mean, if they're paying $1,500.
And at the end of the year, I mean, shoot, how much? Man, that's a lot of money to be made.
That's a lot of money to be thrown at a 305 deal.
You're probably not going to. You might be getting close, depending on how.
Well,
depending on how, if you were local, let me say that if you're local to that series and you didn't have all the travel expense added into it, you could do okay. You could get a lot of your program paid.
Let's be fair. We're all idiots because we're not making money doing it.
No.
You're not gonna make money doing it. It's not, I don't want to say not possible. You gotta have help. That's the only way you're gonna make money. Unless you have somebody come in and pays for everything and you get the winnings, that's the only way you're gonna make money. You're just not. So we're all stupid really, if you, at the end of the day, we're all idiots because we spend a lot of money and there's no return. We're just having fun.
With that kind of stuff, I mean, you're legitimately looking at, you got to pay for your car. But if you're good, if you can get around the track halfway decent for the whole year, it's going to cover all your weekly expense. Not travel. I mean, not for us going that far, but all your weekly expense, your tires, your race fuel, your race service. It's probably gonna be paid for with that setup right there.
Well, that's why I said though, like in our case, we would need to find somewhere we could leave it, somewhere we trusted to leave it. And
I tell you what,
worked on it.
What
there.
Really needs to happen. I mean, that's a great idea, but why don't we win
the lottery? Yeah,
a league, not a league. Why don't we create a series around here that does the same thing?
That's what I've been saying for weeks. I've been saying. That's why last episode, I think it was the last episode, I was talking about, like, I really, really wish we could work together with the racetracks that are close to us and create something similar. Look, Oklahoma's got a ton of guys. They got a ton of sprint car racing out there. There's a ton of potential. So this does sort of make sense for them. But you've got what? We've easily got 25, 30 cars around here.
I was gonna say, what's their car count?
I don't know what the car count is, but I mean, heck, what did I just say? They're paying a points fund down to 15th for 1,500. You know, so they've got 15 people that are gonna run for a championship.
Yeah.
You know, or at least they're counting on it anyway. So, you know, you need something similar around here. You know, Brad was talking about, you know, the idea was brought up to have, do we want to have weekly 360s come back to Riverside and have a points fund, 5,000 points fund, yada yada, or whatever all that was, you know, to kind of bring people back. Well, most guys my age or younger have kind of grown up on, well, they want to go run with the Outlaws. That's the heroes of the day now, you know, because we've gotten away from all the weekly racing around here with the sprint car stuff. So everybody wants to go be an outlaw or a high limit guy or, you know, whatever. And that's why I've been on the train of, why can't we work together with tracks that are around here and create something like this? I'm not saying the money has to be that way, but something that would help us, like something that would incentivize us to want to race more. Because to me, in our situation, we don't have there's not a lot of incentive to the Farmington thing. Sounds pretty good. Now, I wish the purse for winning was a little bit better. I wish the pay was a little bit better. But heck, if 5,000 to win a championship at Farmington, that's 3 hours away. That's not too bad.
You know what's gonna take?
You know what?
You're gonna have to say screw high limit, screw Outlaws, and embrace the reality that it's getting unattainable. To go race with those guys, they are NASCAR. They're getting to be NASCAR. They're gonna be NASCAR with a different brand on it. They're gonna be, the average guy is, before too long, not gonna be able, really already can't go run.
We're already there.
Already can't go run with them. So I'm not saying you should, if you get the opportunity to go race a show, go race a show. But what if we all said, screw them, watch them on the streaming service, go watch it if they're, you know, if you want to go watch them in person, it's a good show. They're fun to go watch.
Yeah.
But why don't we bring our racing back home and give these track owners an opportunity to work? I mean, if they're having to scrounge penny, if all the local track owners are having to worry about making enough to stay open, a lot of times that kind of puts a box in your mind. You're not going to be able to expand out into other areas and find other opportunities to do that because you're simply worried about paying the bills.
Yeah.
So if we come back home and we bring these shows home and we start saying, screw those guys, they're going to go race for their money, whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, all the people that don't have cars, by all means, go watch and support that, because it's going to trickle, like the tech is going to trickle down. It's going to make racing at the top makes racing at the bottom better.
Yeah.
I'm a believer in that. But at some point when this gap gets too wide, we as racers in the middle have to say, screw them.
Yeah.
Put them aside, go back home. I'm not saying home, I'm saying this region. It doesn't have to be straight to Riverside, although go race at Riverside. It's a great track to go to. But bring it back home and give these track, you know, if you're showing up, if you're making your own loop and 10 other guys are making a loop and these track owners like, hey, we're getting these guys on a rotation. I mean, or they're coming to race here and we have car counts.
Yeah.
And we're competing with one another every week for the same cars, maybe that would be an incentive to work together. And then if you start working together, your money starts coming. That's good for everybody.
Yeah. I'm not saying that I don't want to race with any of those guys, you know, because it's too hard. It's very rewarding to make the show and like I would love to make the show and finish top 10. That would be a win to me. You know, that would be awesome to me. You know, but the gap has it's hard to race 10, 12 times a year and go race against guys that do it 80 times.
But if you had 25 grand to win in your point series at your local home track or at 3 local tracks, screw those guys.
I'm with you. I'm saying I don't want to take away the opportunity to go do that too. Like if I want to go do that and give it a try. But I I do want something here. Like I kind of want to see us create a PA posse here. Like I want us to have our own thing here. You know,
I think
PA
everybody wants to get out too much.
do what?
I think everybody wants to get out too much. They want to go race somewhere else too much. And
Well, I don't think they can. That's the problem now. Is it's hard to now unless you've got a lot of money to back you to where you can go. But
that's what I'm saying. Where are the cars at though?
yeah,
Because they're not here. They don't come here to race. So where are they going?
what do you mean they don't come here to race? What do you mean?
Our car counts have been, I mean, they've kind of come back up this year a little bit, but they're not great.
We had, let's see, we had 21 cars at was that the flip flop? What race am I thinking?
Yes.
No, I was thinking
That was the one before flip. No, that was flip flop.
we had the flip flop. It was like 20. I know it was 21 cars or whatever at the King of the Ditch.
Yeah, there wasn't
or
enough for a
22.
B.
Yeah, it wasn't enough for a B at the flip flop because
They ran the
had
Bs,
it-
but they didn't.
yeah, because had it been enough cars to run the B, we wouldn't have been in the race.
That's right.
However, anyway, I'm not gonna bring that up. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. But if you opened the engine room like Farmington does, and we started something between Farmington, Riverside, whatever, if we had our own little series here, we could throw a little bit of money at it and we could get those guys, and then we could go there, they could come here.
It would not take a lot to start swapping that up. Just go back and forth. Or even, I mean, that's a 2-week thing. If you just put another one over here and created some, I don't know that you want to create, like, I still support guys going to race somewhere else they want.
Yeah,
If they
yeah,
want to go
yeah.
race another track or
Yeah.
for any reason, you know, if there's a night where there's double the money to win somewhere else, those tracks need to know about it and plan around it, for one. And for two, maybe create a point system where missing a night, I don't care. I don't really care. If you're racing for big enough money at the end of it, then you're not gonna go race
Yeah.
without a good reason not to.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
if there's $25,000, well, going to run with the Outlaws at Peevely on a points night, I mean, just toss it up. What's more important? You're running 1, 2, 3, or you're running, you know, you're averaging in the top 3 in this series, but you're gonna go try it. Screw those guys. I'm back to that. I'm going home to race
Yeah.
for my 1, 2, 3 position where I'm gonna make some money at the end of the year.
Yeah.
I realize that it's $1,200 to start, or $1,200. Yeah, start
Yeah,
money's
it's $1,200
$1,200 for Outlaw show, but I mean, that's what's going to bring it back home, is having something to lose at home.
Yeah.
If these kids don't want to run at home, well, it's because they're running for $500, $1,500
Yeah.
for a show with maybe 20 cars. I mean, maybe 20 cars in it. I guess that's not a good thing. I guess the fewer cars, the better it is for you. The better odds you get, but still,
Well,
you're running. You can go if you're good enough to make the show. I'm not going to run the Outlaws. You can make $1,200 just to start. If you do any better than that, then you're going to make more money.
yeah. Well, I think you have to finish 11th or better, or 10th or better, or something like that. But and that alone is,
Well,
that's a mountain to climb.
but you're still looking at, you have to finish first to make the 15 here, versus anything better than starting gets you close to that 15.
Yeah. Well, I just wish that we had something like that here. What kind of, I don't want to say irritated me, but I felt like it was very underappreciated what Lane said when he was like he wouldn't leave the house for less than $2,000 essentially. I was like, man, people would kill to have that here.
Yep.
I wish we had something like that here.
Hey, see if y'all can
305s,
find the car
360s.
count for the OCRS.
But I wish we had something like that here. You know, we need something like that here I feel like that's what Brad was talking about. Like we need to build this area back up. Oh, this to me is a way to build Oklahoma and some of the racetrack, 81 Speedway, like a lot of that's in Kansas. So I mean, you're going to be able to build this up, and you're going to draw a lot of racers. There will be ASCS guys that do not run ASCS. They'll go commit to this full time. I don't doubt it.
100%.
Because it makes more sense.
with the
So,
305. They're gonna take it down. They're gonna go
I'm
down
telling
in
you, I
car.
would do it.
Yeah,
If
I
I was
know.
any closer, I would
agree.
do it. It would make
just
total
think
sense.
It's just
Oh,
crazy.
well, more sense.
It's just crazy that
Because none of
OCRS.
yeah,
OCRS.
OCRS.
What's the stand for? Oklahoma.
Oil
Capital Racing Series.
Yeah.
I think they've got a really good thing going. I think they're on to something. I'm very anxious to see where it leads, and I just look. I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that I have all the answers. I mean, this is just my opinion, his opinion on what we would like to see. I don't know how all this works behind the scenes necessarily. How do you put all this together? That's kind of why this year, when I wasn't racing, I've kind of wanted to see like, okay, well, how does this work, or why do you make calls this way? Like that's why I wanted to go sit in the flag stand with Brad McCarver. I wanted to see his perspective. I want to know what he's thinking and why the calls are made. I'd like to go in the tower. I want to see things from other people's perspective. I want to understand, because when I do come on here, I want to have some knowledge, and that's like right now, that's where I lack, is I don't have enough knowledge on this to, I guess, I mean, we can sit here and imagine something up all day long, but it may not, it's probably not that, I'm assuming it's not that simple.
They have anywhere from 25 to 38 cars in the race.
Hadley just told us they have OCRS has had anywhere from 25 to 38 cars a race this 2025 season.
25.
Wow.
Okay, so
that's a lot.
that's a lot.
That's a lot of support.
That's a lot, but I don't think that's unattainable. And depending on what their last year's, I mean, obviously this is the 2026 payout, but what's 2025's payout? Is it something similar to that?
No,
are they trying to raise car count, or did the car count give them the ability to do that?
Let's find out.
I'm with Brandon though on that. I would love to know more about it, because I'd also like to know if OCRS is a private entity that's like a private series. I guess they are, but what exactly, can I be another OCRS? Can I go get funding and create this? If I go get $500,000 donated to me, can I create this series and then go around the tracks and book races and then have a point series of my own?
Yeah.
Because if I can, I might be interested in doing that.
Yeah. Well,
I don't know what goes into it.
I'm looking at this, just going through. I'm just trying to do stuff on the fly here, but March 29th of this year, OCRS race at, where was this? Springfield Raceway, Springfield, Missouri. They had 16 cars and 10 finished at that race. Let's see, what else? Just random. Creek County. Creek County is pretty much in the heart. Okay, so yeah, they had 24 in the feature. So yeah, pretty much said 8. So yeah, they had 24 cars show up to that race.
305s, right?
Yes, to my understanding.
And how many 360 guys out there would put the 360 on the sand and build a 305 for $25,000?
Yeah.
Points racing around here. Y'all let us know.
Yeah. It costs so much to do. It costs so much to do any of it. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether it's stock cars.
You get reduced tire costs in a 305 too, don't you? Running the same tires, but you're not tearing them up.
That's why. Yeah, you're not going to tear them up. And if I'm not mistaken, Robert also said that they're running the Hoosier medium tire. You can run the American Racer, and there was another tire that they can run. So like he said it wasn't an open tire rule, but it sounded pretty open to me from what I understood.
Make racing great again.
Yeah, I mean the thing that would help all of the racing great again, it just wouldn't help Hoosier, is you need to make a tire that's as hard as a stable, in my opinion. That would make racing a lot better, in my opinion. You'd slow the cars down. It'd make everything slick. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You'd be slipping and sliding around all the time. You wouldn't have any grip. You know, the guys with all the money and all the power aren't going to pull away from us because they're having to get it hooked up. Well, they'll just have to find another way to get it hooked up. But it would help. But Hoosier's got to sell tires, so that's not going to be the case. It's raining right now. That's not too loud, is it? Rain doesn't affect us? Really? Okay, good. It is pouring down rain. Like, it's kind of hard to hear. What else do we want to talk about? Is that all we good on the OCRS? Do you have any other thoughts? Basically, I want to see something like that around here. I just
Promoters
think,
reach out to us. Let us know.
Yeah,
I want to know the ins and outs of putting one of those together.
Yeah,
I really do.
I would really love to, and it doesn't have to be here. I would love for more promoters, track owners, like, come talk to us. Like, I educate me. Give me your perspective. Like, I would love to learn more about how it really, what really goes on, what's happening. And whatever you don't want out there, we're not gonna say it. You know, I'm not gonna put anybody's business.
Don't say it. Don't say it because we're live.
Well, yeah. Well, I just mean, like, message me on Facebook. Anybody can get in touch with me. It's easy to get in touch with any of us. Like, I would love to know more about how it works. But all right,
Letter Eats Point Series. Letter Eat Local Point Series.
Yeah,
coming up.
You got
sometime.
$25,000 to hand out, brother?
Dude, I think did you do the math on how much it takes just to pay out the points at the end? We're gonna need a lot more money than $25,000.
Well, something else. We didn't even.
And that's not even counting the races.
Yeah,
the race payouts.
Yeah, something else we didn't even bring up. I can't believe they even brought it up yet. because I want to get to the meat of the night is the NASCAR stuff.
The meat of the night.
Yeah,
Dang, we've been going for an hour.
Yeah, I want to get to the NASCAR stuff. Really? Wow. Time flies when you're having fun. Anyway, we didn't even bring up IHRA bringing back the stock cars, or having the open.
Oh yeah,
track. We didn't even bring that back.
Well, that didn't come.
Like right
that
after.
Came after.
It was right
that
after
Tuesday. I think,
it was the day after, because we had just talked about it the night before.
Yeah, because I predicted the future.
Yeah, I had been hearing the rumor about Cuddle buying Motorsports Park, or bringing back bringing a stock car series, here locally to run at Memphis.
Motorsports Park
Memphis Motorsports Park. It is on the schedule. So
that'll be interesting. I wonder if they're going to bring the whole thing back.
Yeah, and see,
I would.
To my understanding, the drag racing wasn't mentioned. Even Lee Milliken, Clay's sister, even she said in the comments, "I wish they'd do something with the drag strip." To be honest, I can't believe anything happened to the oval before the drag strip.
That's exactly.
That blew me away, because the drag strip's all anybody
every single
week.
The
drag strip's all anybody talking about.
Events like every other week out there before they close down.
Yeah,
I mean, really getting a lot of traffic.
I can't believe the oval happened first, and it hadn't happened yet.
Especially since it's going to take millions of dollars.
Somebody
to get that thing back.
Somebody's got a lot of work to do to get that place back.
Before, what was the first date? It was next fall, wasn't it?
October the 3rd, I think, or something like that. October, So a good birthday present for my 31st birthday would be a stock car ride at Memphis. I'm just saying, that'd be real cool of somebody if they want to do that.
I think it'd be cool just to have a race.
Yeah,
for your birthday.
I agree.
Much less.
I agree.
It'll be something if they do. I mean, and I know bringing in a stock car series is going to take less money than getting it back to a NASCAR level event.
Yeah,
but it's still going to take a lot to get it ready to go.
Nothing would make me happier than to see that place come back to life. Because y'all, like, one of my favorite things about my childhood was every year for my birthday, going to the bush race. It was always on my birthday weekend, just about. Yep. That was like one of my favorite things as a kid. Was Dad would come check me out of school. Him and Granddad. Granddad comes sometimes. They'd come check me out of school. We'd go to the racetrack, watch practice on Friday, go home, eat dinner, go to bed, get up next day, and then go back and watch the race the next day. That was one of my favorite things.
See, I never got to see a race there.
Really?
My family wasn't into racing. So.
Well, that's true. That's true. We should have known each other a long time ago.
Yeah.
But I remember watching Carl Edwards win there, Brad Keselowski win there, Ron Hornaday, who would not sign autographs, by the way. Mike Skinner. Who else? Travis Quapple. Travis Quapple come over and signed autographs and handed out like the little yellow lug nuts or whatever. They had a bunch of those. They'd pick them up off pit road. And I think I got 2 or 3 at home in a box somewhere, but they'd bring them around and give them to the kids and stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty neat.
And I've got a lot of that stuff. So like I have a lot of memories there. So like to go there and watch that again, or hopefully be a part of it someday, maybe.
Yeah, I hope they bring the whole thing back.
Me too.
It'd be sick if they bring the dirt track back too.
Oh yeah.
I mean the whole shebang. I know it's a lot of money tied up in that.
That's a lot of money.
And a lot of people to work it. I mean, you got to have. That's a big complex over there. So
yeah,
maintaining it, it's gonna take a good investment.
Yeah,
it's gonna take a big investment.
Yeah, and I hope we get there. I hope that what Daryl's doing, I hope he can bring some life back to that place. I hope we can get it back to what it originally was.
I just hope it happens.
I think it would be cool. Oh boy, what's Stormy saying? I was out there last week and again today. There's a ton to be done, but I do hope they can get the entire facility back up and running. Our Midnight Madness alone brought a good amount of money.
Midnight Madness was always a good time.
Yeah.
Did you ever go to Midnight Madness?
Oh yeah, we went there a bunch of times.
Man,
we went to.
That was always a good time, especially
Super
when they
Chevy was fun.
Brought in the drifting for Midnight Madness too.
Man, that was a good time. I've got a video on my phone. I had a buddy. His name was Blade Cullum. I don't know if you know Blade.
I don't think I do.
I went to high school with Blade for many years, and Blade had a car, a little Nissan he'd play with, and he was talking to me one day. He's like, "You ever gone drifting on the track over?" I was like, "No, I've never been." And he invited me. He said, "You can ride with me. They'll let you ride with me."
Oh yeah, you can have a whole. I mean,
yeah.
A buddy of mine, Dylan Bepler. I'll give him a shout out. I wish I knew his YouTube name. I'd throw that out there. Maybe we'll put it in the comments here in a little bit. He's got a 4-door car. I mean, you load it up.
Yeah. Yeah, this was a little two-door something. I don't even know what it was, but he took me around there and I had a ball. You know, like I just wish we could bring that place back. And maybe this is the start of it. Hopefully this is the start of something good.
Man, I got so many good memories out there.
Me too. Me too.
And friends that I know from there that just, I mean, I don't even see them anymore sometimes because I don't.
Super Chevy was a good time. NHRA coming, that was always a good time. You know, Clay, it's his home racetrack.
Yep.
Yeah.
I used to get off work. I used to get off work on a Thursday night and go to Test and Tune.
Yeah.
And sit around and gamble on race cars. There's always somebody throwing dice out there.
Throwing dice in Memphis? Can't imagine that.
There's always it was like a little mini casino over there if you into gambling.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll see it back. Hopefully we'll see it back.
Oh, there was an old man out there. I don't know his name. Didn't have any teeth. He'd come out there and he played 3-card Monte, and he would take so much money from people. It was crazy watching him.
What are you calling it?
3-card Monte.
3-card Monte. What's that?
It's where you got the dealer. I don't know what it's called, but he's got 3 cards, and 2 of them. You're looking for one of the cards. Whatever he has is the one that you're looking for, and he'll shuffle them around, and then you pick the card. You gamble on it.
That's it?
That's it.
Really?
That's it. And that dude would leave there with hundreds of dollars.
Really?
Yes.
So he was pretty slick then.
I'll tell you about it. He would come out there, and he'd give you a little warm up. He'd go a little, he'd shuffle them around. He'd bend the corner up of the card that you're looking at, and he'd shuffle them around. You'd see that corner and be like, that one right there.
Yeah.
Here's $5.
Yeah.
Do it again. You bet a little bit more money, and he'd hook people. He'd get them betting. He
was hustling.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He bet $20 and he'd be like, all right, $100 on this round.
Yeah.
You wouldn't see that. It was ridiculous. Those cards will be a blur.
What a day. I don't know.
And then I mean, I can't tell you how many people I saw be like, I got it. Boom, that one. No, gotta hand him $100.
Really? Wow. I don't know why this is one of Dad and I's favorite memory, but I think it had to have been the Busch race one year when we were going, and we were going to find our seats, and it was cold. It wasn't cold maybe quite like this, but it was pretty darn cold. We're walking up there to the stands like this, and there's this black guy walking around, got 2 coolers in his hand, both of them open, got full of beer. Ice cold beer. it's hot out here. Just walking around, hollering, it's hot out here. And we still talk about that to this day. If it's real hot outside, we'll say, it's hot out here. I can hear him plain as day, but he was just carrying around a big old thing of beer and selling shorts. He may not even had a darn shirt on, but it was cold. Man, it was cold. He was selling that beer, though.
Place is full of good memories.
Man, yeah. The last race I watched there was Silver Crowns ran over there, and that was in like me and Caden had just started dating, so it was like 2019. So it's been a long time.
Yeah, boy, it's gone downhill real quick since then.
Yeah, it looks
pretty rough.
It looks rough, but we might just finally be coming back. So I'm excited to see what the future holds over there. But I didn't realize how long we've been talking, but we didn't do it last week, but today to me it'd be foolish if we don't bring it back, because
there really a lot didn't happen today.
A lot didn't happen, but
a lot did happen.
A lot has happened, but today was the first day of the trial with
the trial of the century.
The trial of the century. Play the Law and Order theme, Will. But since Brad's not here, and Brad doesn't have to be totally quiet because he don't really talk about the NASCAR stuff with us. This is kind of our thing, but I'm very interested to see where this goes, because we was talking about the high limit thing, the charter deal. I'm worried about high limit maybe turning into a very similar situation what they got going. Hopefully they're watching this NASCAR thing, and hopefully
I think high limit's already wanting their players to be bought in with that. Those are permanent charters.
Yeah,
that they have.
Yeah, and see the NASCAR charters are not. That's the whole.
They are not.
That is the purpose of the lawsuit. Is Denny Hamlin and the teams that are suing are wanting permanent charters, and they want a piece of the pie of the TV money.
Yep,
that's what it all boils down to. And
the reason for that, just to give a little background on that, the charters started out, I can't remember what they sold for, like $1 or $2 million.
About $1 million.
NASCAR released them to the teams. The teams are already there. They got a bid on it. But they bought them from NASCAR. At the time, well, to put it in perspective, $1 or $2 million for a NASCAR team is not that much money. I mean, they're losing millions of dollars. Even the small teams are losing millions a year to race in NASCAR.
Their tire bill is more than that.
So $1 million, $2 million for a charter, no big deal. What happened, though, is the charters started to become valuable. And then now...
But why?
Because people wanted access to NASCAR, and you couldn't have access to NASCAR without a charter. But before you say that, let me get to the point. The last charter to sell was like $50 million. That's not throwaway money anymore. So if you want somebody new to come into NASCAR, they're going to have to spend at least $50. That's what the last one sold for. People are not willing to throw away $50 million for a 7-year contract that could be thrown out the door. In 2030,
at any moment.
At 2032, when this current contract runs out, NASCAR could say enough with the charter system, and they would be gone. It would be a $50 million investment that had zero return over its life. So what a permanent charter does is, when you buy in for $50 million, it's not going to devalue, or it's going to take an extreme situation for that charter to devalue. It's just going to constantly grow, like you see the NBA franchises, the NFL franchises, NHL, any other professional sport where there's a franchise that's bought into the central, a part of the mother company, or I can't get the words to come out like I want to, but y'all know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Those as that mother company appreciates in value, the franchise also appreciates in value, and they all work together to make money. NASCAR does not have that. NASCAR, it's already been ruled, Judge Kenneth Bell has ruled that NASCAR does have a monopoly on premier stock car racing. And the trial that started today is just to determine whether they have been abusive or had an abuse of power. I personally think they have.
I think they have too.
I think it's pretty apparent by what's already come out. I'm excited to see what's going to come of it. But that gives you a background of why this is important. and why people are so upset about the charters and why people want the charters to be permanent, because you're not getting people in the sport that want to be in it simply because there's no return. Yeah. There's no guaranteed return. And people are going to take a chance on risk. The people that want in are going to risk money to maybe make it, maybe not. But they're not going to take a risk on definitely not going to. Yeah. And as of 2032, it could all go away.
Even NASCAR's most popular driver ever doesn't want to buy a charter. He does not want to buy a charter because there's no return. Right. And it costs a fortune to get in, and it could disappear just like that. So why buy in? I mean, Dale Jr. I'm assuming, I don't know why he wouldn't, but I would assume that Dale Jr. wants to be a cup owner. You know, he brags about running the Daytona 500 and how good that felt and everything with his car and how they qualified in. So I would assume he would love to see that be a weekly thing.
You would think.
But even he doesn't. Even he has talked about it doesn't make financial sense. It doesn't make any sense to go in and buy a charter and then just poof, it's gone. What sense does that make? But I just think that this is a much bigger deal than what people are making it. A lot of people like to pretend that, you know, nothing's going to happen, NASCAR's going to get away with it, or, you know, whatever. But the thing is this has the potential to go on, and there could not, I'm not saying it'll happen, but there's a chance there may not even be a Daytona 500. There may not even be a season.
Legitimate chance.
It could actually happen. This could stop them in their tracks tomorrow. And Judge has already said, guys, you need to settle, because if you drag this out, this is going to get worse. You're going to burn the house down. And I made a comment.
Well, you can already see. Oh, it's because he can already look back and he's like, okay, NASCAR has got some skeletons in the closet.
Well, look at the socials that's been posted.
Yeah.
You know, we're dumb rednecks that can't read, and, you know, our RCR owes NASCAR everything. I would argue back that NASCAR owes Dale Earnhardt and Richard Childress a ton, because there wouldn't be a NASCAR without Big E and RCR being what they were. I mean, they were
RCR
stars.
did that.
How many people do you run into? And I would say even your dad, Hadley, like there's a ton of people that I run into all the time. Well, I haven't watched a race since Big E died. I just ain't never cared to watch it. My uncles and my dad used to go to Indianapolis, Atlanta, Bristol, Talladega, Daytona every year. They would go to 5, 6, 7, 8 races a year. And none of them go anymore.
Don't even talk about it.
Don't even talk about it. Dad refuses to watch it.
Yeah, we can't even get Super Dave to talk about it.
Uncle Rodney had die cast everywhere. Just he loved buying the merchandise, going to all the races, going in the garage. I mean, he was obsessed with it. Uncle Jeff, not quite as much, but Uncle Jeff, same thing. They all went all the time, and now you couldn't get none of them to sit in front of the TV and watch a race anymore.
Yep.
Claire, the article that Claire wrote, I'm trying to think of her last name. She writes a lot of NASCAR stuff. She made this big long post the other day about how, you know, Steve Phelps and Brian Herbst and Dickerson, like all these guys, they're not bad guys, and you know the sport really needs them and all this, that, and other. But the thing is, like, the damage is done. Like we've seen all the emails, we've seen what they posted. I mean, Dickerson. You have a different opinion? Well,
I do. I'll let you finish.
All right, but they've already shown who they really are. If I said that, nobody cares. Nobody cares what I have to say out there in the world about NASCAR. They don't care. But I'm not the president of NASCAR. But when you've got the president talking about its fan, look at Campbell's. I'm not going to get off subject too much, but like, look at Campbell's Soup right now. Who wants to buy Campbell's Soup after what the CEO, the guy running the whole show, said about its own food? Like, who wants to go buy that now? He says it's fake and it's for poor people. Why would you want to do that? Well, why would I want to support NASCAR after we're a bunch of dumb rednecks that can't read? Yep. Why would you want to support that? You have it is almost completely necessary at this point. Those guys they got to step down. Nobody's going to trust what they have to say. Nobody's going to want to work with them. In my opinion, it looks bad. The France family needs to sell to somebody other than the Saudis, and that's probably, I could see that happening if they're not already bought and paid for by the Saudis. But I just think that you need to do away completely with leadership. It's got to go in a totally different direction because this is not working, and now you've got a black eye, and it's just not going to work.
I don't
anymore.
think they have a black eye.
I think they have a
And
terrible one.
let me explain why they don't have a black eye. ESPN hasn't written an article. You go to ESPN.com right now and you look it up. They might have done it after today, after court closed today, but this morning there was not an article about MJ versus NASCAR on ESPN. Premier Sports News.
Well,
there was not an article. There's not articles anywhere about it unless you're a race fan.
I was going to say you're a hardcore fan.
Right.
ESPN thing said Denny Hamlin broke down in tears.
At today?
Yeah.
Okay, so there is an article today about it during proceedings, but up until today, there has not been national media attention.
He broke down in tears?
That's what it said. I would pull it up my phone.
Why would? Okay, well, I'm going to look into that.
But
But
we're talking about MJ, Michael Jordan. If you don't know about Michael Jordan, he's a famous basketball player.
surely everybody knows who Michael
I
Jordan
hope
is.
so, man.
Kinda
I hope so.
Yeah, I would hope. It's kind of like if you don't know
but you
Tiger
think-
Woods.
Let me say another thing. I think it was either Jordan Bianchi or Jeff Gluck tweeted this afternoon that out of 23 people interviewed for jury selection today, 3 people knew about the NASCAR
And they were
case.
involved in the sport somehow. What I saw.
3 people out of 23, and I know that's not a huge pool, but 3 people, only 3 people. We've been talking about this for a year.
And they're based out of that region. Like the series is based out of the Charlotte area.
Right. So you have 6 jurors. They picked 9 jurors today. 6 of them are going to sit. 3 of them are going to be fill-ins. But those people do not know about this
Lawsuit.
and it's literally been going on a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it has been filed for a year.
The black eye, though, comes from the people that are still hanging on.
But I'm telling you,
have a core base that,
that's
like
why-
me, that is glued to it and is praying.
Nobody. You are not going to be a fan of Premier Stock Car Racing if NASCAR is still branded NASCAR and there's going to be so few people because there's so few people that are fans anyway. This is niche. The whole thing is niche. It's only a race community deal right now. I think Eric Estap actually made the point today. He released something this evening I watched that potentially that's why NASCAR is willing to go this far so far is because the public doesn't know about it. Public doesn't know anything. If you're not a race fan, nobody's talking negatively about NASCAR except for the race community.
Well, I'm trying to change that because I got in touch with PBD today and told them about it. They said they didn't know nothing about it.
But that's what I'm
Because
saying.
even they said, they were like, well, I haven't heard anything about it. I'm like, well, I guess I'll talk to the team about it.
Now, if the trial may attract that attention, the trial itself, if ESPN is going to release articles, it's going to get attention. I mean, there are people that still just read what's on ESPN or what's on news outlets because it's there.
Yeah.
And if that's going to happen, then it will spread. And I think it's going to go in favor of front row.
Could you imagine
23-11.
if this was 2004, though?
Oh, imagine if it was 1998.
The uproar would be insane.
It would have been settled already.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, they'd have
It would have been
by
settled
now.
already.
Yeah.
In 98 for sure, probably in 2004, it would have never even been. They'd have been like, yeah, you're right. We're making so much freaking money right now.
Kenny Wallace made a point, and on his Coffee with Kenny deal that I listen to it every morning. Kenny made a point. He said, because he said the same thing I said about Dale. You know, a lot of people talk about, well, I quit watching when Dale Earnhardt Sr. died, but
Is Kenny still bought by NASCAR?
No.
Okay, because he was for a while.
He was for a while. But
I stopped watching him because of that.
yeah, he got a little aggravating there for a little while. But
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
no, you're fine. But Kenny made a comment about, yeah, Senior died in 2001, but when did NASCAR really start to fall off its peak? It wasn't 2001. It was like 2006.
I was going to say
2007. Why? Why was it then that it fell? I don't think it was the housing crisis that had anything to do with it. Yeah, money.
It does cut into your attendance and things like that.
It hurts the
but
attendance.
no other sports at the time, when they trended down because of that, they didn't stay down.
Yeah.
And NASCAR did.
Yeah.
Keep going.
And I just think that around that time, that was when Bill France Jr. died. It was 2007. And I think it was the summer of that year. And Brian took over, Brian France. And ever since then, we've taken a lot more liberal approach, to how the business side is handled. Do you know when Drive for Diversity started?
2008.
2004.
Was it 2004?
2004.
That's what I was going to say.
When did the chase start?
I don't remember that.
2004. That was the first year that the chase happened. A lot of things started really changing in about 2004, 2005, 2006. It was still at its peak. You still had the core fan base was sticking around, and they were trying to hang on. And then when the COT showed up in 2007 and full time in 2008, that was when it started to nosedive.
Because the racing got
It
crap.
didn't have anything to do with the housing market. You can still sit at home and watch the race if you love it.
It was still on TV.
It was still on TV.
And on that time, you didn't have to have cable. It was on network TV.
Yeah. And
I know, because we never had cable at my house.
And what I'm about to say, or what I'm about to get into, might be a little controversial, so you can speak up if you want to. But
This is not supposed to be controversial.
I figured this might be safe to bring up because Brad isn't here, and I know he would not want to speak on this probably, and he might. I don't know. He's gotten a little more vocal lately, but the Drive for Diversity is just one of the issues. To me, that was when
Danica Patrick is one of the greatest drivers to ever be in the sport. What are you talking about?
I agree with you. But why is it that I, as a white male, I have to pay for the ride? I'm the one that has to bring the money to the table. I'm the one that has to spend hundreds of thousands of dollars to go race and try to work my way in. But because I am not a female or brown, I have to work my way in, and they don't. Why
start squeezing them together a little bit? Wear a little lower shirt.
I don't want to give it away, but of who it is. I was at a specific race.
Bubba Wallace.
About no, I was at a specific race. It was cold. About 12 years ago. It was me and Dad standing there, and we were talking to this guy about, what does it take? Like what steps would it take to basically, make it? Stock car racing was always I don't want to go down that road, but stock car racing was always the route I wanted to go. I never wanted to go the sprint car route, as a full-time
And he won't
driver.
race stalkers.
Yeah. I forgot about that. Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. So, you got me. I lost my train of thought, dude.
Stock cars.
Stock cars.
I
always wanted to go that route. And I was talking to this guy at this race, and basically what he told me, and this is a very on up there kind of guy.
Don't name drop.
With a specific manufacturer that came in much later. Trying to drop enough so people know who I may be talking about without actually saying it, because I don't want to get him in trouble.
Tony Stewart.
No. But I would say up there in that realm. But he basically told me, he said, if you're not brown or a woman, you're basically done unless you bring a suitcase full of money. This was around 2014, so 2013, 2014, and that's the way it's gotten worse. It's not real. It's fake, and more people, especially when social media became a thing, and now that there's podcasts and you got all these people that have a voice, we're seeing more and more of what goes on behind the scenes. You're seeing these messages, that NASCAR is having behind all these people's backs and talking about the owners like they are, and and you're seeing what it really is, and you can't hide it, So
it's harder to hide it.
it's
Anyway.
harder to hide it.
I mean, same thing with everything. Everything's getting
everything's this way. Everything's this way. But with racing, it's everything has become you buy the ride. You essentially, if you don't have the money, it doesn't matter how good you are. And listen, I'm not saying I'm by far deserving of going and racing on Sundays, but I would like to at least lay my head down at night and know that, this guy was better than me. Listen, if Glorisha at Walmart decides she wants to start racing, she's an actual person. She checked us out at Walmart, so I brought her up.
Shout out Glorisha. Hope you watch.
So let's just say Glorisha wants to start racing. She's introduced to it, and she decides she wants to start racing. If she gets into go-kart racing, starts whooping everybody, and decides, you know what, I'm going to move on up. I'm going to start racing stock cars. She goes out there, she whoops the fire out of Dylan Knight and Landon Coke and all these guys. She's beating the mess out of them. They're scratching their heads going, good Lord, Glorisha sure is killing us. And then she goes into late models, and then same thing happens. Dylan's still sitting there scratching his head going, good Lord, this girl's good. And she gets funding, and she just keeps going up through the ranks and just kicking butt everywhere she goes, and she makes the cup on Sundays. Who's going to be mad about that?
Nobody.
It's not about the color of your skin, your gender. It does not matter. It doesn't matter to me.
It should not.
It shouldn't matter to you. It should matter.
Everything should be performance.
Exactly. It shouldn't matter what you are, who you are. I want to see. Look, I love the sport. I want to see it thrive in every way, and this is not the way to do it, because you're injecting all this fakeness into the sport. You're injecting people with money that can't, as Tony's, one of my favorite sayings that Tony Stewart used was, can't drive a hot iron into a snowbank. You've got all these people that just buy the ride, go in, wreck all the cars at Daytona, and walk away and go, oh, well, Daddy will fix it. Daddy will pay for the next one. And then they go and they just keep on going, and
was that Harrison Burton?
Yeah, I don't know. Harrison was okay, but see, he's another one.
He was in the playoffs.
If Jeff
wasn't Harrison the one that was in the playoffs last year because he won at Daytona?
Yeah, he won at Daytona.
Because somehow he ended up front.
Yeah, he ended up front, and he was like 34th in points.
Did he deserve to be there? Absolutely.
No, he didn't deserve to be there. But see, that again, that's.
But
that's
he has a
part
rat. But the only reason he has a rat is because his daddy.
Yeah, Harrison would not be where he was without Daddy. Daddy had influence. Daddy may not have paid for the rides, but Daddy had influence.
Yeah, which is okay. I mean, I'm not hating on that.
And I'm not hating on him. I'm not hating on him. If I had that kind of influence and Spencer wanted to race, I'm going to do everything I can to help him. So
Ty Gibbs, another example.
That's not the point. Like, I'm just going to say it. Landon Crawley would not be where Landon Crawley is without Daddy. But if I'm Tim Crawley, I'm going to help my son do whatever I'm going to help him. I'm going to do whatever I can to help him. You know what I mean? Like, it's not
Landon, don't take offense to that.
Don't take offense to it. It's not
because Brandon's the same way. You could throw Brandon Hanks in there too. Brandon Hanks wouldn't be running the cars he's running if it wasn't for Daddy.
If it wasn't for Daddy, it wouldn't happen. But sometimes I've been dealt a great card. I've been very fortunate. I've got to do a lot of things people wish they could do, and I understand that. But race car drivers, we're greedy. We want more. Like I want more.
Well, you've never had the opportunity. The majority of people never had the opportunity to take the next step because the door to get there is so large.
Yeah. Well, it's one of the points that was made on the Chaz show. Gravel dipped his toe into the NASCAR stuff, but he ran the trucks, ran really good at Michigan. but he didn't have no more money flowing towards that, and he wound up back to sprint car. But he dominates in the sprint car.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
It's all about opportunity. Today, it's just about who you know and how much money you have. It's really not about how good you are.
I can't remember if I brought it up a couple weeks ago. Ross Chastain. Well, I can't remember if we talked about it on the podcast or not, but Ross Chastain was on the Bear Grease podcast, and
you brought that up.
He said there were guys that raced better than me, but
Yeah.
they weren't good at the business side of it.
Yeah,
The reason he has a cup car, the reason he's the driver of a cup car, is because his family was good at the business side of the racing. He's not an elite race. I mean, he is an elite race car driver because of where he's at. He has worked his way into an elite position, but look where he finishes in the field.
yeah,
He is not elite in the elite.
yeah.
He's not part of the top 5.
I would at least argue that maybe they don't have as good of stuff. They're not Hendrick and Gibbs. They're not as good.
I think SVG is going to prove you wrong on that next year. That's my opinion. But I think
on the road course stuff, yeah.
I think he's going to bring it.
His oval
I think
stuff's
he's going to
getting
bring
better.
it. I think he'll finish. I'll go ahead and say it now, and we can bring it back up. SVG is going to finish ahead. You remove his road course wins.
That's if there's a NASCAR in 2026.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Remove his road course wins from this equation and just put oval to oval. SVG will finish ahead of Ross Chastain next year.
give me another year and I'll agree with you.
I'm a Ross Chastain fan.
Me too.
I'm just saying.
I'm saying give me another year.
I get it. I mean, you don't have any faith in SVG, but I do.
I said give me another year. I said he'll get there. I just don't think it'll be.
I think he will. I think
next
it'll be
year.
next year.
You
I think, yeah.
maybe. Maybe.
I think the last 6 races of the year, he was already there.
Yeah. We got way off subject.
We did.
But that's okay.
Anyway, to bring it all back around and wrap it up, if NASCAR is around and permanent charters take place and they can negotiate this money where the teams stop going in the negative, you could potentially see a team structured like Junior's team where you can work your way into a ride. Even Junior says he can't do that for all of them.
Yeah.
But he has made it a priority to give people that deserve an opportunity.
Exactly.
If you have money coming in from the top, there's potential that people down at the bottom will get an opportunity just because of talent.
Exactly.
And that's really what, and I think
And that's the way it
when you
used
see,
to be.
yeah, and when you see Denny, you hear Denny talk about it. He worked his way into NASCAR. He's blue collar. Their family was blue collar coming into it. I think he wants to see it go back that way. I think he realizes that if you're gonna have the stars in the game, you have to have the natural talent.
Yeah.
That's why you got Shohei Ohtani's. That's a baseball player for those that all don't follow it. He's one of the best, probably the best baseball player to ever play the game.
Yeah. But he deserves to be there.
He deserves to be there.
And by the
but
way,
he didn't buy his way in.
Exactly.
His physical ability, doesn't he have the most, isn't he the highest paid baseball player?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he's the highest paid baseball player in the world, and he only did it on skill.
Yeah.
He can't even speak English.
And to
Yes, he can.
Okay, he can barely speak English.
No.
bring it back.
He acts like he can't speak English.
So, but something else I wanted to bring up real quick because I'm probably going to catch crap over the Drive for Diversity thing by somebody.
Who cares?
I don't-
Suck it
well,
up.
I
Y'all
don't
get
care
better.
either.
If you're fighting,
Listen.
if you're fighting for diversity, you probably suck,
Exactly.
and you need diversity.
Literally, probably one of my favorite drivers of all time came through the Drive for Diversity program. Kyle Larson came through the Drive for Diversity program. So I'm not saying that talent can't come from it. I'm just saying
Is that why he
it's
got
a
away with
little
saying
bit
the N-word?
racist to bring in all these people that just because they're not white guys into the sport and it costs them nothing when guys like me all over the country have worked our butts off and spent money that they don't have to try and get to that level, and it's just handed to them on a silver platter.
Yeah.
Says because you're brown, we're gonna give you a shot, and that's just the honest truth. Nobody wants to say it. I have nothing to lose, so I really don't care.
I mean,
But that's just how it is.
It is true. There is a bias in it. It's not fair. Life's not fair though. So
Life isn't fair, and it's never going to be fair. But what I'm saying is,
but it won't matter.
The reason this lawsuit to me is important. I know it's not headline. I know it's not national news, but the reason it's so important to me is back to what I said. I want to see this sport thrive, and it's not going to if you keep putting on this fake nonsense and putting on this front and trying to create these game 7 moments, like the playoffs, like this game 7 moment. You're watering it down, and it sucks. So like, you need legitimacy. You need people that actually deserve to be there to put on the show, like the Kyle Larsons. I don't think Larson needed the Drive for Diversity program. I think he'd eventually have made it anyway. But you need talent injected, and you need some legitimacy.
You brought it to the black and white of it, but I don't really think black and white is the best example.
Are we talking about race, or are we talking about?
I'm talking about the color of skin, black and white. I don't think it's the best example. I mean, you could throw Bubba Wallace out there, but the reality is the guy can still drive a race car halfway decent half the time. I'm not going to give him full credit, but let me get to the end.
Go ahead.
When you everybody's going to get defensive when you start talking about color.
Oh yeah.
And you look down in lower tier. The only one I can think of is Rajah Caruth.
Yeah.
He can drive a car.
LeVar Scott. LeVar Scott's another one. He's in ARCA.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Yeah.
But both of those guys can drive a car pretty good. I mean, maybe they do get some more backing, but I don't think they're beneath their peers. I think they're similar to their peer group, but I tell you who can't, and that's the majority of women that have the opportunity to get a seat. I'm not going to go the color route, but I will go the sex route. Women can't drive. They can't drive like men can. And I don't think it's fair. I don't think it's fair to put, like, Danica Patrick was one of the worst. I know I said that was satire earlier when I said she was the best NASCAR driver, or she was one of the best. She wasn't. Could she drive open wheel? Yes, she could. She was good at that. But she was terrible.
The only race she won was a field mileage race.
I know. And then the rest of her finishes were garbage, and she wrecked everybody. And you look at Catherine Legg now. I cannot stand.
I'm talking about the IndyCar that she raced.
Well, she still won it, though.
She still won it, but it was field mileage.
She did okay in the IndyCar stuff. She still couldn't compete.
No.
Like the men could. Catherine Legg, I hate to see her in the field, because I know somebody's going to. I don't even like Daniel Suarez, but I felt bad for Daniel Suarez this year because she wiped him out of a race he was doing halfway decent at.
Yeah.
And he had no shot to win simply because of her. Because she couldn't handle the car.
I'm not saying that.
I am saying that that's not good. Now, if you go down, I am a big Isabella Robusto fan. I do enjoy watching her drive because she can run with the top 5. Most days she's between 10 and 5. She handles her car well. She does a good job. She deserves an opportunity to continue to run that car. Yeah. But if you cannot, and she's an ARCA driver, but if you cannot compete on the level, I mean, just because you're a woman.
I was gonna say
Tori, what's her name?
She has Breidinger.
Yes,
Natalie Decker.
No reason to be in the
Haley Deegan.
The series they're in. They cannot compete.
They're all terrible. Every one of them are terrible.
They're in premier cars and they can't finish halfway decent.
It goes back to, let's clarify one more time in case Will does a short on this. Just because you're a woman, though, doesn't mean that there's not, or just because these women suck doesn't mean there's one out there that can't compete.
Yeah, that's
surely correct. Out of the millions and millions of people in this country, there is one woman somewhere that could, with the right opportunity, it could happen.
Maybe.
And I would be okay with it. It ain't about whether or not I'm getting kicked in the nuts by a girl on the racetrack because she's so freaking good.
It's not
about that. It's whether or not she deserves to be there. And a lot of these women that are showing up It's because they look good and they're bringing money to the table.
Mm-hmm.
And
it's like I told Brad the other day in that conversation we had. I'm gonna be Ella J's biggest fan.
oh, for sure.
She's gonna be able to whip the boy. Even if she can't whip the boys, I'm gonna say she can. And she may never get to drive a car, but if she does, I'm gonna be her biggest fan. I'm gonna be right there cheering her on and punching anybody that says she shouldn't be driving.
Yeah. If Ellie J is my sister's soon-to-be daughter, she's gonna be born might be born any time this month, but any time, any day.
Honestly,
I mean,
I better not say that.
Bless her heart. Bless her heart.
She's ready to go.
Kim's very pregnant.
Kim's
but anyway, she's very pregnant right now. But if LAJ, 7 years, my niece, 7 years down the road, said she wanted to race.
Let's go.
Spencer's not interested and she wants to race.
Let's
I'm
go.
all for it.
We're going. We're locked in. We're pushing it.
I will support it 100%. And if she's good, I'm probably going to even press it even harder.
Yep.
And if she wants to try to go pro with it, I'm there all the way.
By all means.
It is not about that. It's just the people that are talented should be able to have a shot.
So let me ask you this. If she gets a modeling career with Victoria's Secret and then decides she wants to go race in trucks and Xfinity, are you going to tell her that's okay even though she's garbage?
That's a tough conversation, but it's one you got to have.
If it's my daughter,
maybe you don't.
And even obviously, I'm not going to have much of a role in that, but I'm going to say no. Why would you want to risk your life, someone else's life, because you have a little bit of money backing you? I mean,
it hurts your image.
It does.
I'm sorry, Danica's image is hurt. Look, I agree with her politically. She says a lot of things on podcasts and shows I've watched. I agree with her on a lot of things.
A woman seriously that can't drive a car?
I cannot take her seriously when I hear her talking about racing because I just know
because she was a
terrible
joke. Go look at her highlights.
Awful. Yeah, she was awful.
They're wrecks.
Yeah, they're all wrecks. I remember watching her at Daytona. She got hit in the right rear corner panel. So let's just just imagine you're going straight here. And car comes spinning down the racetrack, hits her in the right rear corner panel. Which way would you turn? If the car goes, it swings this way, which way do you turn?
Turn the way you want to go.
You would turn the way you want to go, correct?
Yeah.
I watched her onboard camera. She turned right and drove straight into the wall.
Just can't think.
We watched it happen. I remember it was, I think it may have been a duel or the Bud Shootout or something. I can't remember which. It was a night race at Daytona. Dad and I watched the replay over and over again. We would this was with TiVo days. We would back it up and watch the onboard camera, and we're like, I know she's turning the wrong way. Is she turning the wrong way? And we're sitting there watching it, and like, she turned right. She did not turn left. She turned right. She drove straight into the fence. She tried to wreck Landon Castle at Chicago one night, wrecked herself, and he didn't even spin or nothing. Nothing happened to him. She missed. It's like, she was awful.
She's an embarrassment to NASCAR.
GoDaddy paid Tony Stewart and Dale Jr. for her to come in and drive the ARCA car, the Busch car, and the Cup car. And she was there until finally, I think GoDaddy said, this is getting too expensive and the image is not good. We got to go. So she was gone.
Yep.
And, just Natalie Decker brings money. She's awful. Haley Deegan has one of the most famous dads in the world.
And comes from those Deegan boys can drive.
Exactly. She was okay, but I mean, she didn't show out none. And just kept getting ride after ride after ride, year after year.
Yep,
paying over $100,000 per race for this truck deal. Or Monster was anyway. And then you got Tony Breidinger.
She's still racing.
She's still racing, but she's just.
I don't know that she'll have a seat next year. I haven't seen anything. She did not have a good year.
No.
At all.
No.
Anything she drove.
I'm just saying, Glorisha, if you're really good at racing and you get a ride, by all means, if you go out there and wear them out, I'm going to root for you.
If you got the talent to do it, that's great.
If you got the talent.
Now that we've hated on women and black people,
we're going to get canceled.
Yeah, I'm sure we'll get canceled now.
We're going to get canceled.
It's not about women and black people. It's really not.
It's not. It's not.
If one of mine, if one of my people, black or female, decided they wanted to race and they were good, I would push them. I'd do everything I
Yeah.
could to support them.
Man, yeah.
But I don't want to see junk. I don't want to see junk just because you got a pretty face. I don't want to see junk just because you got a certain skin color.
Yeah.
It doesn't bring the sport up.
Yeah.
And hopefully the lawsuit, to bring this back again, hopefully this lawsuit will clean that up. And I don't care if Bubba Wallace is still in the, I've never been a Bubba Wallace fan. I don't really like him. But if he can drive his car well enough to keep his spot when there's people below him that are trying to race into his spot, then by all means, let the man drive.
Yeah. Your guy would be amazing in his seat.
Yeah.
Corey Heim. Corey Heim would wear him out.
Corey Heim deserves to be the next 23, I will say.
Yeah. Bubba, until I'm proved
he did
wrong,
run a race, and he did do a really good job at the end of the season.
But how long has it taken for him to get there?
Long time.
I would have been fired 6 years before this.
Yeah, long time.
I would have been let go long before he started.
There have been drivers that have come and go.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. If it had been anybody else, it wouldn't have been pushed. I'm sorry. That's what I believe. Yeah. I'm not saying this year, his mindset was a lot better. He started running better. And to me now, if this was the Bubba Wallace you saw when he started, or maybe a year or two,
that's a champion in the making right there.
I'd been fine with it because I'd been like, well, he belongs. He's won a race or two, and I'd been like, he's deserving. But it took forever for him to get to this point, and anybody else would have been fired. They'd been long gone.
I think the business of racing is still going to be around. I think you're still going to have to be good at finding opportunity. I don't think that's going to go anywhere, but I do think that I really think the outcome of this thing is leaning in the direction of 2311 in front row.
I hope so.
We'll see. I mean, we got a long way to go on it, but
I don't know if we clarified, but if the teams win, the charters are permanent, and they're getting more pieces of the pie.
No, that's not necessarily. No, that's.
What do you mean?
That's if the teams win.
I'm just saying
it's probably starting all the way over.
Well, okay, hang on. Just hypothetical here. Say they win. They're making a lot more money. They can actually make money, and they can go hire who they want to drive the cars. The sport will be for the better. You need Another thing is that I feel like the drivers can't be who they want to be on camera. And that's what's missing. That's why people can't relate to the drivers today.
That's why everybody loves Carson Hocevar, even though he's
exactly
wrecked half the field.
Exactly.
It's because he is his own person, and he has his own outlets.
And he does not care what you think.
And he does not care.
Yeah, he doesn't care. That's why I like Hocevar. He's not going out there setting the world on fire. Well, maybe he kind of is setting on fire by wrecking everybody.
He's either racing really good or he's wrecking everybody.
Yeah. So but he's relatable. That's the point. He's not this robot that's been created to look good in front of the camera and say what needs to be said and don't say the things you ain't supposed to say. He goes out, he's himself, and some people don't like it, but if you're asking for more personality in the sport, he's a perfect example of if all 40 drivers were that way and they were all relatable, they would become superstars. The sport would grow. It would be bigger than it is because people could relate. People stopped watching after Dale died because that was the person they could relate to. Dale was, you remember the Dale documentary?
He didn't care. He said what he wanted to say.
Well, that too. But you remember the Dale documentary? There was one part where he said, I could win a race on Sundays and feed the cows on Monday. And that's relatable because that was what people in the country did. They went to work on Monday. And he was out there doing the work too. He was out there. I mean, yeah, did he have to? No. But he done it because he liked to do it.
That's where he came from. Yeah. You can't forget where he came from was hard work. Yeah. He worked his way into a car. He built his car, and then he worked his way into everywhere he went, he worked his way into. Yeah. If you go and watch the Amazon series, you find out that he's not only was he a race car driver, but he might have been bigger than NASCAR, honestly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he was.
who his brand might have been bigger than the NASCAR brand altogether.
Let's be fair, he probably wasn't the best dad in the world. After
but
watching
I mean,
after watching that one on Amazon, I told Dad, me and Dad were talking about it, I was like, he probably really wasn't the best guy
Probably
when it came
not.
to being a dad.
I think,
you know.
I don't know that it's okay. I think it's okay to look back at it and say he wasn't the best dad.
Yeah.
But it's also okay to look and say he was in a different crowd. He was the next tier.
Yeah.
And what he did. Now he might not. I mean, shoot, I know plenty of men that are real good at something, but not good at something else.
Yeah.
I'm probably good at something, and I know I'm not good at plenty.
Oh, for
So
sure.
I mean, there's always going to be
Same.
shortcoming. Everybody's going to have a shortcoming, but who else is doing that now?
Yeah.
Who else is tied? Who else can piggyback off of NASCAR? What you think about it, back then they weren't even getting. I mean, we're fighting for charters now, permanent charters, so that we get a bigger piece of the pie. Well, Dale wasn't even. You think he was worried about piece of the pie back then?
No, he was
his own brand, but
He-
what NASCAR has done is they have choked down the ability to be a brand.
Yeah, exactly. Dale created that brand for himself.
Mhm.
I mean, he was the one that made the merchandise, and Kelly was selling the merchandise. Him and Jeff Gordon were collabing on merchandise. Talking about, they were hating on Jeff Gordon shirts. Well, Jeff Gordon was making the money on the on the hate. I hate Jeff Gordon shirts. Like they collabed on a lot of that stuff.
It was good business.
Yeah.
But now NASCAR is going in and kind of handcuffing that, making it where.
Well, even all the merchandise trailers that you see, or the
They're
tents or
NASCAR.
whatever, they're all NASCAR.
Mhm.
NASCAR gets a lot more of that money. That's why if you see drivers sell merchandise for themselves, you don't see pictures of the car and the sponsors and everything. It's usually just a picture of their number with their name on it.
Yep.
It's something real simple, and that's what the drivers get. So they've choked, like you said, they've
Yeah.
choked them down.
What do y'all think? Does NASCAR have a monopoly? It's
Just
too bad. The
just a
Judge
little.
Kenneth Bell has already ruled that they did.
Yeah.
So
That is why I am rooting so hard for Denny and Michael right now in front row. Bob Jenkins, I want to see them win this thing, because if it keeps going the way it's going, then it's not going to get any better. It's just not.
I am pulling for mediation. I'm pulling for a settlement. I know they didn't. I guess mediation is over with, but I'm pulling for a settlement, because I think that while y'all don't know this, I think I might have said it on the show. I've always been anti-NASCAR a little bit from the time I've gone back, and from the inception of NASCAR. Back when people were starting to race cars, and then the Stock Car Racing Association came together, and Bill France created NASCAR and Daytona. I've never been a huge fan of the France family. They just do things their own way, and they don't really take anybody else into consideration. But I also recognize that racing, premier stock car racing, is today
Sounds a
what
little
it
bit
is.
sounds a little bit like Brian at WRG, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's the same thing.
Same thing.
It's pretty much the same thing. They've strong-armed their way in, and where at one point during the inception, I think it was necessary for Bill France to lay down the law and to do his own thing, so that the organization the trajectory was set the way it was. But at some point, there's an overreach. So I would love for the settlement to come on the table, the teams to get permanent charters. I think that would be great for NASCAR and for the teams. I don't think that's I don't think it just benefits the teams. But I'd like to see that, and I would like to see the teams get a little bit more say-so in exactly what happens. If they don't get say-so, at least give them a little bit more cut to start making profit. Because there's no other sport where the franchise owners don't make money.
Yeah.
And that's what Rick Hendrick is, a franchise owner. He's not, because there's no franchise. JGR, RCR, 2311, Front Row,
Mm-hmm.
Spire, all these guys. Is Roushington still a team?
Yeah.
Are they?
Yeah, Brad Keselowski.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
RFK.
I always think about Brad now. I
Yeah.
don't think about Roush anymore.
Yeah, it's still
Yeah, Roush, Fenway, and
Keselowski. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, all these guys are franchise owners, and only in theory.
And it could disappear at
And
any
it could
moment.
disappear just like that. I don't think that's good for the sport. I think that's setting it up for failure.
Yeah.
Just because
Well, I
know there's people that want to buy in. You think about all the money that's in professional sports. You think about who's buying these franchises.
Yeah.
And then you look at NASCAR and you're like, well, this is some redneck guy that can't read that owns a team.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah. Somewhat.
That's not who's buying franchises.
Something you just said that we skipped over a little bit was, and I love a good conspiracy theory, but Chaz on his show was talking about how is Spire a shadow company to help NASCAR pump the value of the charters up, because in I think it was 2019, the charters were selling typically for anywhere from $1 million to $3.5 million for a charter. Spire paid $6 million for one. They overpaid. Well, then it happened again. They were buying charters for 7-8 million a couple years later, and then they paid 13 million for another charter, and it just kept going and going and going.
Well, you got to go back and look at what happened at the correlation at the time. The value that came from being a charter owner also increased.
The same year? This was happening at the same time.
It doesn't matter, because if the value of that charter, let's say the value of that charter, the value of owning a charter is determined by the market. So, and it's based on, you don't know who else was also bidding on those charters. You don't know who else wanted one of those charters.
Yeah, but why would they all be somewhere close to the same, and then this one is almost twice as much?
Because as you create demand, so down here, when there's 10 charters available, you can sell the first 4 for like maybe $1 million more than the next one. But as it starts to tighten up on the top end, there's less available, and the demand's still there. The price goes up. That's just business.
Yeah.
And so now
that makes sense. But
you're
saying Spire was always on the raw end of the deal every time?
I'm not saying Spire was always on the raw end of the deal, but you don't know who was bidding on top of it. So Spire bought 1, 2, 3, and 4, or maybe they bought 1, 2, 3, and then number 4 they decided later they were going to do it. Well, you don't know what's going on. You don't know who else is bidding on that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if they bought this one for 6, somebody probably bid 5.
I would just like to know where they're getting their money from. Because didn't Spire also come in and pay Kyle Busch like $40 million for a truck team, their whole truck operation? Do you remember that?
I don't remember that. I have to go back and look.
Will or Hadley, one of you two, can y'all look up an article about Spire buying out KBM, Kyle Busch Motorsports, and just see if there's an article? It should say like how much they paid for Kyle Busch Motorsports. I'm just curious what they paid for it.
There's inherent value on all of that stuff. I mean,
on the team it is, because you actually have physically something to buy.
Okay,
but the charters, there's nothing
to get this. Well, there is, because there's a limited supply and there's demand for it. As long as somebody wants to go NASCAR racing, but the value is there.
But limited supply of what? There is
access.
There's access to what though?
You have zero opportunity to even come close to breaking even without access to NASCAR.
Well, you get paid less money, sure, but you also risk spending all this money. Like we said, it could be gone at any moment.
And that's why you're starting to see people stop investing. There are people that want in NASCAR right now, but they don't want to pay. They have no problem dropping $50 million on a charter.
Long as
nobody has. How much is Shohei's contract? $700 million, right?
Yes.
I think it's 3/4 of the book.
Yeah, it's something.
$700 million for what's the term? It's like a 7-year contract. $700 million
I actually thought it was more than that, but anyway.
for 7 years of one man who could throw the wrong pitch and destroy his shoulder. They're spending $700 million.
Yeah.
Why? Because there's value. They're making money on that guy. But if there was some sort of, I mean, they set that contract up, and it is what it is. Even if he throws his shoulder out, it's still going to be the best baseball player that's ever lived on their roster. He's going to be on the field. People are going to come to see him just to see him.
Could you imagine the type of drivers that you would get if they made that kind of money?
I'm going to tell you.
If the teams could go and find it and put the most talented drivers in the car.
But that's the thing.
Could you imagine?
All of the money, the Dodgers back it up. MLB doesn't get the money from Shohei. NASCAR does get the money from Denny, Kyle, Bell.
Oh, yeah.
All these guys, they get the money for it. The teams get a little bit. I mean, they get a little bit of cut of the pie right now. But Shohei is a LA Dodger. You know who's making the money on that? The LA Dodgers. MLB's making some. I mean, they're going to brand the merch. They're going to get a little cut out of it too. But
how do they even? Well, we're probably getting way off.
Yeah, we need to be wrapping it up.
I've got more questions. I've actually got more questions.
For too long.
But well, I was just going to say, like, I don't even know how an MLB team makes money, because every time I've ever seen a baseball stadium, they're half empty or less. And it's
ticket sales, merch sales, TV contracts.
No, it'd have to be
advertising.
Crazy.
All of that stuff goes into it.
TV contracts are good.
Yeah. See, and even
you say
Stormy,
that, but
that was another.
Dodgers are paying Shohei $700 million.
See, Inspire, you see that?
That is true.
Like the Yankees.
Hadley, we should have gave you a mic. But Stormy just made another point. See, Spire is investing into Jason Myers for high limit. So that's something else they're getting involved in. They're getting involved in this. And it's like, where are they coming up with this money?
Well,
they got oil money somewhere.
Well, who's to say that it's not a hedge fund backing them? Because I guarantee you, if you were to get guaranteed charters, you would see more big money people, big money organizations, not even singular people. It would be groups of people buying into NASCAR because the return is there to be made if the return is there to be made. Yeah. Right now, it's not. Right now, in 2032, there are $0 on. You have spent all the money. NASCAR is. That's the other thing. You're buying the charters from NASCAR, and they can, boom. Do they give you any of that 50 mil back?
No, you get nothing.
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 They inherently own it. Now I realize that FRM gave they bought that charter from a charter owner, so NASCAR didn't get that money. But NASCAR owns the charter. All they have to do is pull it.
Yeah.
All they have to do is pull it.
Yep.
And you get none of the TV money. You get nothing related to NASCAR. You just have a car that they've mandated that you have, that you bought from them. You can't go race it anywhere else. And if you do try and go race it somewhere else, well, it's their car. They have rights to it. So they're going to sue you.
Well, Bo, I feel like we've solved all the racing's problems tonight.
We have not solved anything.
I think we've solved all the racing's problems.
All we've done is talk about all the problems at Raising Hats.
We've started a series.
But nobody
around
made
here.
the board this week, so I guess
That's
we did
true.
do a little bit.
Nobody did make the board this week, but we started a series. All drivers gonna get paid a lot of money around here, so we're gonna have a series around here, and we've got all the answers to NASCAR's problems.
Maybe
what they should do to fix it.
We're probably just repeating what we've heard.
What do you mean?
We're probably just repeating a bunch of opinions that we've heard from somebody else to formulate our own.
No, well, I mean, I guess that's true. I guess that's how everybody works. They, you hear all these things and formulate.
You have to be able to take information and form your own opinions.
Yeah.
We have done our due diligence.
We definitely
Spent
have.
many hours on Twitter.
And we probably going to get canceled because we apparently don't like women.
Yeah, we hate women and black people.
We've hated on.
You didn't catch that part. Just kidding.
Will
do not edit that.
Do not do a short.
Do not clip
Don't do a short on that part.
There's going to be a bunch of libs that want to clip that out anyway.
We might get a lot more views that way.
Live on the internet right now, so.
Well, I mean, I know it's live, but we've also been. How long have we been going for? 2 hours, 2.5 hours.
It won't be the first time.
Oh wow, we're almost Ronnie Howard status. We gotta go, man.
Yep.
But
Yeah, my
anyway,
wife's probably
hope you
pissed.
guys had a great Thanksgiving. Well, I'm still full from Thursday. I did not gain a pound. Did not gain anything. I didn't lose none this past week, but I didn't gain
I don't
nothing
even
either.
know why you looked. Thanksgiving, it's a holiday. Just enjoy
Hey,
yourself.
well, I did, but I still worked out and tried to make sure I did what I was supposed to do.
I skipped all of last week. I'm
You
not gonna
skipped
lie.
all of last week?
Yeah, I think I might have gone Monday.
I thought you was a little pudgier than you was.
1 week's gonna do it for me.
All right. Well, guys, if you enjoy what you if enjoyed what you saw,
Or if you didn't,
give us
tell us.
Yeah, just let us know. We don't really hold back. And hey, I stand by what I said earlier. If anybody, any promoter, anything, like pull me aside, talk to me, like let me know.
Yeah, we really want to know.
I'm-
I really would like to know.
I would really like to know more about behind the scenes stuff. I'm always down to, get perspective. And if you ask me, and I've had this happen plenty of times, but if someone talks to me and you ask me, can you please not bring this up on the podcast? I won't. I'm not going to throw anybody under the bus. But if you like what you heard, please make sure you give us a thumbs up. Comment what you thought about the podcast. Make sure you go subscribe to all our socials. I've had some trouble going TikTok live the last couple weeks. Hopefully tonight when I go home, I'm going to get all that fixed. And you can come hang out with me on TikTok live when I do a little bit of sim racing and we can talk a little bit. But thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate it. Drive
Y'all
fast.
don't forget, let her eat.